juicy, sweet French blood and Callista that they love.
I'm not French as far as I can tell.
They lap it up.
I've got English in me, Irish, Scottish.
It's a lot of guys in you. I mean, that's a lot of it.
Sweden.
Mostly it's Scotland.
Beans
Scots,
out.
but it's Scots.
No, Sweden's the one that's up there, and the Swiss one's the one.
What do you play?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So
He's
it's not
eating
good.
there.
So it's not copyrighted.
Yeah. It's my new movie. Ah! You owe me $10,000.
He's going beans.
He's eating green beans out of like a Tupperware. He's all
yeah.
beans.
Magical fruit.
Oh man, I wish my kids.
He's
would do
telling
that.
his mom, sleep? No. Beans.
How old is he now?
He's,
Younger than Sebastian.
I think he's right around the same age. He's
Is
pretty
he?
close to, yeah, they're pretty close in age.
When's his birthday?
December.
A little bit older.
Yeah.
Is it December?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's
Month older.
he's a month older than Bass.
Vegetarians.
Did you
He's
see those
funny.
pictures
Or
that
Capricorn.
Brandon posted? Vader.
I know which person you're talking about, but I don't know which pictures you're
Oh,
talking about.
about him. It was actually over in Riverside.
Oh,
Okay.
the
The dwarf metal show.
yeah, the death metal show that he went to. It was some kind of like Scandinavian death metal or
Uh-huh.
something like that.
It was gorgeous.
Crazy like that, yeah.
Oh, yeah, primal.
You know, you can't hear anything.
I know. That show misses you. That show misses you.
Yeah, just look at this set.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Stories when they came back from war.
Murph balls and shitacondas. Just saying. You're gonna go to war, you gotta make up stories. What you're doing. Just,
Make up stories. Stories just happen.
Shh.
You fix the key
Quiet
to
you.
them.
No one's talking to you, Mistress Elizabeth. Even your own father didn't want to talk to you. Get out!
That's not true. My
Get out.
father loves me.
You get out. I can't understand what you're saying. You mumble like your mother does.
I'm the best. My father loves me. That's why he helps me fund all of my research. I want to do experiments on people next. Please, can I get some cadavers?
Some cadavers. Could I get the nice soft cadavers, not the little stiff ones that are too hard to work with? Just those spongy ones with lots of gout.
I would say that this time period is definitely like it's got the feel of the same time.
It's not a real time period, though.
But like the time period that it feels would definitely be during the time of the body snatchers.
Oh yeah, that definitely.
Yeah.
But it doesn't need to be a time period for that. They're definitely body snatchers in this world. So.
Oh, it's like they're like
Just
at
gotta
the
find
time
it.
it was for the
Well,
medical.
technically, they snatched 2 live bodies last session.
Like, it was like a serious problem at the time because it was illegal, you know, to dig up people.
It's still illegal.
Well, okay.
I'm just,
Okay, here's what
I'm
I'm
going to throw it out there.
It
It's still
was-
illegal.
It wasn't illegal, and then it became illegal, but people were still stealing bodies
Just
for the medical
because-
profession.
People do it, so you have to make a law to say don't
Don't do
this.
it.
Doesn't mean that it wasn't illegal before.
It was immoral.
The difference. It was immoral before.
It was
now it's
immoral.
legal.
They have it. It's like
Ooh,
it's
thank
like
you.
the notes that say, "Don't shove this up your butt on a curling iron."
Yeah, thank you. Why it's on.
Somebody-
They still got to put the label on there just in case.
At least why it's on.
Yeah.
See, now before it
Don't
was
steal bodies. You have to be told not to steal their bodies.
okay.
Don't
so
hold your breath underwater beyond 2 minutes.
there was a very good reason why it was done. So here's actually a really fun story. But it's a fun story. At the time period, death wasn't a very good science. People didn't know when you were dead. There was a lot of times people were getting buried alive because they were not died of coma.
Well, that's where zombieism and Dracula came about.
Well, yeah. See, so
Maybe the people just didn't like them.
there's a lot of cases when people would be dug up for, because they were going to get their grave robbed, or they were going to.
Did you know one of the tricks the wealthier people would use? They'd hang a silver bell inside the coffin
Mhm.
so that they could ring that.
Yeah.
And if you heard that,
And they
that
had the
Their
hole
toe.
too. They had that pipe hole too.
Mhm.
What you do is you let grandma rock for a little bit.
It was
Make
a
sure they're dead, then you
legitimate
bury 'em.
concern. That happened a lot.
That
So
was,
that's why they had to
That
wait.
lady in
that-
India woke up in her
that
coffin just like
happened?
a month ago.
was
Then she
when-
died the next day.
that was when laudanum had first been kind of making its
She woke
way
up at a
through.
wake.
So what?
Laudanum. Oh,
Yeah, that
they
was.
didn't realize the effects of opium, that it would basically put you into a comatose state.
Mhm. Your breath would be so shallow it seemed like you were dead.
Mm-hmm.
They would try to put mirrors up to the nose if they were being careful to see if they could fog it up a little bit. But it just was not an exact science to tell if someone was
Yes, the
dead or
card
not.
unlocked.
You need your
You know, salt in that.
asthma breather thingy.
Yeah.
A lot of people would find themselves in plague pits, or they would be buried alive. And
Shouldn't got
people
salt.
who were grave robbers and
Yeah,
body
to the
snatchers would actually, in like a side thing, would actually save lives, because there would be people that would be buried alive. They would wake up in a coffin and they'd be like, "I'm gonna die," and then some grave robber would come along to steal their jewels and whatnot, or sell their body to science for all the
Which was the main thing that grave robbers did.
Yeah, because medical field didn't have enough donated bodies
Yep.
for their, medical research. So they were totally okay with that. But like they would literally save
You
lives.
should be a morgue attendant.
I was actually heard a story yesterday. I was listening to a podcast. One of those cases where a man had he was completely cognizant, but he couldn't move his body at all.
Those are the
So
best.
he seemed dead, right? He was aware when they were burying him.
Do
He was aware when they were putting dirt on his
you
coffin.
remember that zombie movie Serpent in the Rainbow
Yeah.
Yes.
with Greg
Yeah.
Kinnear or whatever his
Yeah.
name was?
It wasn't Greg Kinnear. It was another guy.
Where they put him into a comatose
It was the guy who
state.
played. You're right. It was the guy who played in the Independence Day. Was the
Yeah,
president?
he was the president.
Yeah,
Go home and
I'm not dead.
But here's the
And they put like a tarantula in there.
Mhm.
he was aware
Open
when
the
the
box.
people dug him up. He was he was a medical student too, so he knew this happened, right? He was aware when they took
When
him
did this happen?
to. This was during that time period.
Oh.
He was aware when they took him to the same school he was going to, and they were doing electric shock their experimentations.
Did you lock it?
Actually, it's a good thing he did.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, there's neighborhood.
There's what?
There were some suspicious guys.
Where? There were two gentlemen over by our car, and as soon as I walked by, they said, "I just think you go sit down."
Where's that?
That's
Backseat by the sawed-off shotgun.
right.
They were doing these electric shock stimulation experiments where like they would reanimate dead tissue with electricity. So he was stiff, he couldn't move, and they were sending these jolts of electricity through him.
You want to go check?
They walked away.
They walked away to like literally just.
You're doing that on camera right now.
They walked across the street.
Dude, keep it under the table.
You don't see nothing.
Let's see, absolutely here.
Don't show them McDonald's. I'm not getting a free sponsorship for one viewer.
You got to pick.
I know.
You're making me look more suspicious.
Like they were doing electric shock experiments,
Uh,
and that would reanimate dead bodies temporarily. So he was stiff, couldn't move. He would do that. They would shock him, and he would like, but that was a natural thing that would happen to a dead body.
right.
So they were electrocuting this guy, right, while he was still alive, and like,
I don't think electrocuting a body is a natural thing to do.
no, it was like
A typical thing to do.
they were experimenting with
Right.
the electric shocks, just bringing people back to life and all that stuff, and how it reanimated the tissue, the whole Frankenstein thing, right?
You won't listen to the news, but you'll learn about this shit.
Oh yeah. Anyways, like he just barely managed to like yell out, like after they were done doing that portion of the experiment before they cut him open. And they're like, "Oh God, this guy's alive! This guy's alive!"
I've been too embarrassed. Okay, buddy, sorry.
Oh, I think it was one of those things where there's like a room full of people and they're doing those experiments kind of thing, you know? Yeah. But it's just like, oh my gosh, those stories just give me nightmares. But
And now we know why she doesn't watch the news.
Yeah.
Because those stories will give her nightmares.
I mean, now you get to give all of our listeners nightmares. Congratulations.
I got worse.
Wait, we're
ones.
playing an occult horror game.
Actually perfect. It's getting you guys into the mood.
There's that whole net. What I think it was.
Or
I forget which streaming service it was on, but it was called Lore.
Oh yeah, actually,
So that was actually the backstory through a lot of those.
Everything all right there, Officer?
the funny thing
Rocky?
about lore
she said they ran
and
across
the
the street, so
Cabinet
they're in
of
there.
Curiosity.
They probably like sit up in the park and
I listened
watch-
to the
watch the
podcast
parking lot or
before
something,
those
wait.
shows came out. And those podcasts is actually what led me to the podcast that I was listening to, called Mysterious Universe. You get weird stuff on that.
I'm pretty sure my card is off.
Yeah, you get on Mysterious Universe, you get fun things from government conspiracies to Bigfoot. It's hilarious. And they're like these two Australian guys who are like, some of it gets like really serious, and other things are just laughing their heads off on it because it's like they'll read stories and then they'll tell the viewers about them. The stories that they read, and they're all supposed to be true accounts, but to take with a grain of salt. Yeah.
Because the
Yeah,
true account of a schizophrenic could be way.
Yeah, but but like it's like great stuff. Love listening to it.
So, I think I need to take a body. I need a stitch because I have a body.
Resource management time.
I
Who
do
needs what?
believe this is our last game, right?
No, we got one more.
Oh, really?
Yep, one more next week because we missed a Monday because of Labor Day.
How much are
It looks like I'm actually pretty good. I didn't get injured, the body or the
For
brain.
once.
I know.
I think Roscoe took most of the injuries.
You did it on
because
purpose,
he
though.
wanted to.
well, I got hit in the back of the head.
Yep, you did. You got brain.
Okay. Oh, I know. I was going to.
All right. Anyone need a refresh?
I have spent none of my resistances, which I probably should when those bad rolls happen.
We're gonna use 3 train.
Ooh. Ooh.
3 dice that we can use. Any of us can use.
I want my drive
trained
back.
to gain 1 bonus die that you can use on any roll in the next game.
Do we have another stitch?
So what are the ones for drive?
I'll take 1 stitch.
I need drives
Just
back.
can't figure out
Okay.
if I want to take it my brain or my movie.
No, it removes all of them. Stitch gets rid of all of 1 player's marks.
All marks or
All
just
marks. All
one?
marks.
Oh, okay. I only got rid of
Burning body and bleed.
one.
And then you need a refresh.
That's for
Now my
the
resistance is, well,
Yeah, the refresh is the drive
the
and
resistance.
fills all of 1 player's drives. So you need refresh as well.
I'm missing 2 drive from my cutting, but it seems to be it.
Man, you guys are talking like veterans.
I know, right?
Going through the motions like it's nothing.
Oh, I mean,
Just as we're getting good at it, you're going to end the game.
got 1 more after this, and we're going back to.
D&D.
All that hard work of putting up with our
Yeah.
not knowing how to play a stupid
We
game.
do this, and then we get to find out if our characters are dead.
It's like, all right, guys, roll for your characters. What?
Wow.
What happened to our characters?
What,
We have no
what were we playing D&D again? Was that? Oh yeah,
Cora and Jerry.
Jerry. All right,
You
cool.
just have to worry about flying through your anus.
You're right.
Yeah. Right now we're all.
Boy, those dad jokes just keep getting more daddier.
I don't know what's more disturbing, the dad jokes or you calling him daddy?
I think it's called daddier.
I think both are equally disturbing.
I mean, there's always something to hang on to.
We still
Yeah, don't let me slip into war mode. It'll just get worse.
We're at
Yeah, this is true.
We're getting in more
Happens at
mode.
war
I'm
mode.
like,
Oh,
hello.
Oh yeah.
What? It was an accident, but yeah, we were in the circuit there, one of the circuit ring areas, and she came out through the corner, and went "Bah!" and popped me in the face, and I was like, "Ow!"
Oh my god!
Who hit you?
It was one of the scare actors. She accidentally got me like bam right in the face because she was coming around the corner, and she just whack, and I'm all like, "Ow!"
Like you're not aware of your spatial awareness, like too close to the person.
Not aware of your spatial.
Did
awareness.
she stay in character?
Get 13 tomorrow.
No, that's not when I was 13 years old.
Hey.
It's when we went to not scary farm for birthday.
It's a multiverse of
Here's the
confusion.
question: did they stay in character?
Surprisingly, yes, she did.
You never get out of character. No matter how much you're bleeding, no matter how many dead bodies are at your feet, you stay in character.
That would be Disney's philosophy. Yes.
Yeah.
I was a dead nurse.
I'm pretty sure Disney has like a private like cemetery. Like
Oh, I wouldn't. How much stuff is underground?
Just
under
kidding.
Disney?
They have their own haunted mansion. They want to make it real.
Well, they had to keep adding to the ghost factor.
my favorite was that
They charge so much, everything should be.
my favorite was that Simpsons episode where they would kidnap the little kids and put them in the Small World ride. So all the kids in Small World are real kids that were kidnapped.
I don't think I saw that.
There's another one where this I can't remember the name of it. Little cartoon where these aliens are in, on Earth.
Humans,
the-
okay.
What?
Huh?
No.
Okay.
And when the little daughter would meet somebody she likes, she would shrink them down real small.
Oh, that's the blue aliens.
Yeah.
Oh, solar opposites.
Yeah, solar.
Yeah, and the wall. You're talking about the wall. They're thinking about giving the wall its own spin-off. And that the wall will just have its own
Oh
show.
my God,
Because
that'd
that's
be
the
cool.
best part of solar opposites is the wall. The whole they're living off of a single crumb of food to feed a whole neighborhood.
Or like
They're all
like a skittle.
Yeah. No, it's
I
great.
haven't either.
You actually have seen it. I just don't know if you saw the wall portion of it.
They're in this massive wall
Solar
that's like a
opposites is with
terrarium,
the
and she just
pupa.
drops them in.
They crash
and then
on Earth,
There's this whole
and
world
they have
in
the
there. Where
pupa.
it's like Mad
There's
Max.
4 of them.
I know you were watching it.
They have their own religion.
Oh, okay. Thank you for.
You were chosen.
Thank you for the line.
Hulu.
It wasn't at the beginning, so I'm not watching it.
It's original. It's by the same
Gotcha.
creators for
I don't-
Okay.
Tune in.
Tend to pay attention.
So, Previous session. Team made some surprising discoveries as the realization that more than one or two people might be involved in whatever might be going on. From the obsidian eye over at the insane asylum to the sudden realization that two of their people went missing, found themselves over in the Nine Irons trying to recover the two missing individuals. And discovered, smash and grab was done, and then they hit the road. Although it turned out that the individual met by Nero over at the lecture may be involved in one way or the other.
If I recall correctly,
We've also heard a new name for the very first time. The new manager / potential owner of Newfaire Gazettes, Mr. Tillison. This Mr. Tillison seems to be a new person of interest, as they not only either may have fabricated or may have been involved with the disappearance of Jasper and some other individuals, but it would seem that the ramblings and writings of Jasper Quill were made public as well to the Obscura order. But for now,
Thanks to me, because I figured it was a code.
yes, you did. You figured out the code, the cipher. For now, it's been a week since the encounter.
they have enough
Summer is beginning to ebb, and the first smells and beginnings of fall are starting to occur. The warm, humid days now beginning to drift off into the past. The first real kind of autumn day sets in Newfaire. Morning. In this particular case, you guys are at the Pinwheel, a local diner within the Varnish. Sitting across the table from the sixth group is a particularly mousy fellow. He's maybe 4'9", 4'10", light of build, blonde hair, wearing very narrow glasses, wearing what could be best described as a lab coat, but over kind of simple woolen trousers and a cotton shirt. So, me and my friends, we've been doing some research on Mr. Tillison for you. Your keeper sent us a word. This individual might be a person of interest. We spent some time following him around. He spends a lot of time in the steel at the print press, where they run the newspaper off the presses. We know that the Gazette is located in the Silver Slip, along the boundary of the primacy. Keep it kind of close to the chest. Government folk like it that way. But it would seem no one knows much about Mr. Tillison. Don't know where he comes from. Doesn't seem to be associated with any of the families in Newfaire. Seems to be an unknown person. He pretends to be of wealth. Buys things. No one knows where he gets his money from. The strangest thing is, midnight, every night, he's in his office over in the Silver Slip. 4th floor corner office. The light comes on, it's on for an hour, and goes off and he leaves. He's got a bodyguard, a caretaker, who travels with him. Strange individual. He, well, some think he might be a veteran of the war. Heavily scarred, walks with a limp. Carries a gun at his hip out in the open, which is the only way you can get away with that is if the old captain gives you permission to do that. It's possible he might be in with the black. No.
Blackwater.
Blackwater, yeah. We'll be in with him too.
You know Blackwater is dirty.
Yeah, no, can't imagine.
So, I'm thinking a lot of you need this information. He slides over the packet, the dossier in the middle of the diner table. Now, here's the thing. I don't have the people to follow him all the time. There's one particular location he goes to that we can't get into. The private residence, located in the Red Lamp. It's cordoned off. It's got guards. None of my people have been able to get in this. I thought maybe it was a high-end whorehouse or something. Something really rich folk get to enjoy when they're in the Red Lamp.
What's the name of it?
But that's the thing. It doesn't have a name. It is a simple square structure of a building. Second floor, it's got a patio, a porch.
Is that the one I was at?
No,
Oh.
definitely not, because yours is named and
Yeah.
would be familiar to you. It's got a perimeter fence with guards. At any given moment, 2 to 3 guards patrolling the area. Here's the thing. We did manage to get sightings of an ambulance driving in and then driving out an hour later. Don't know what's going on in there because the other problem too is the building ain't got no windows. It's got a single door on the second story and a double iron door for the entry on the ground story.
Does this?
No sign. Just the guards keeping a perimeter, and that is it. It's all we've seen.
So, does the ambulance come there on a daily basis?
Like clockwork at 2 o'clock in the morning. It was just so happened that one of my buddies was leaving his favorite. He was leaving the bunny house and noticed the ambulance. He thought it was peculiar, so late in the morning or late at night, depending on your perspective. So he followed it to that place that we haven't been able to get into. But I can tell you this much. I know for a fact Mr. Tillison's been there before. We've seen him go into that part of the Red Lamp, but he never follows the same pattern when he goes there. Always a different time, different day. I fell off our trail, but we caught him once going there. Other than that, we've not been able to follow him there.
Any other carriages or people that you've possibly seen coming or going?
Unfortunately, no, man.
Do you know where the ambulance comes from?
Don't know that either because it's not marked. It's marked as if it's a medical a car of sorts, but no, we don't know where they come from. We don't know where they originate from.
I would say, well, I'm talking this guy's gone, but
Well,
unless you can help us snag an ambulance.
unfortunately, we're information gatherers for the eons. It's what we do. Although, here's the thing. After your 2 friends here, we got word from your keeper. He got a spot of trouble the other week. Well, the eons are keeping this one on the down low. They think they want to do some house cleaning first before we let anyone in on this one. That's why they had me deliver it personally.
So
You're
got
the
people in your
only ones that seen
organization
this
you don't
and
trust?
your keeper. No one else has seen this information.
So we had to cancel about Michelle this information.
I'd recommend you don't do that. Clearly, there's someone out there you can't trust because if you are recognized as Obscura people, that puts everybody in danger.
Didn't we not find out that's the wife or the husband of the woman was an Obscura? I believe that was the scene that you had mentioned while you were being held.
No, I just was talking to Dr. Tricia.
No, it wasn't her. It was Atricia, but she turned into the mother, and
Hey,
she.
in character, please.
You're such a dick. She's married.
Oh, Maddie.
I'm just trying to cross my own notes here. If I recall correctly, it was Atricia who you'd gone into the building with, but it became like
She like transformed.
into the mother, and she was talking about how her husband, like she knew, or it's like you overheard it at some point that the husband, like it's like she could recognize Obscura people because of her husband, who was an Obscura representative. That was a thing. I remember that was a thing, and
Yeah,
we went and talked about it.
Jason has a smile like in his head. He's saying, "No, it's not."
Now.
I'm kidding.
I
like when people get games mixed up.
Trisha's father was an Obscura member. That's what it was. I think that was mentioned.
I don't think so because they're not. It's the Harbros.
I would check your notes.
They weren't Obscura, they were Obsidian Eye.
They're City Eye.
The mother was, yes.
So was Dad.
But this was like she recognized the Obscura people because of her husband. Must have done work on either both ends or something.
Or was the-
Or she's magic and
He
she
might
can
have been
tell.
double agent, but I remember him mentioning.
The candle charts. No.
Tootsie Rolls in it.
Tootsie Rolls, I'll cut you guys some cash to get some Tootsie Rolls. You guys can make a deal.
Here's $20, bitch. Go get me some fucking Tootsie Rolls. The funny part is if you give her the $20, she'll just walk in her office and grab the other bag. And...
You holding out on me? I'll make you feel good. I'll make you feel real good. You got a Tootsie Roll. Okay. All right.
So now we know for Christmas we're gonna
Eat
get
the sugar babies.
Not even eating chocolate. These sugar babies are so old, they're all stuck in one mass.
Yep.
They're not even chocolate, they're more caramel.
That's true.
How
But
many
But anyway,
how old is this?
I'll be taking my leave now. And
Okay.
he kind of just gets up off the table, puts his hat on, and
did we catch his name?
he did not give you a name.
How do we know he's Obscura?
He's not Obscure. He's Eon.
Yeah. How do we know he's you?
Because he said he was.
No symbols, nothing to recognize the sign.
Secret handshake. Did you catch the secret
And it's like thieves
Yep.
can't, but for like the occult.
Is this the only time you're going to work for us? You're just giving us this information? and then
He's
you leave?
already gone. Stood up and left.
Fine. So, I think we just straight up get in there with the ambulance and see what's going on. If we can put eyes on the ambulance for one night,
Find out where it came from.
tail it back to where it came from,
Wait, crawl up.
see what's in, what or who is in it, then we can
Cape
boost
Fear it.
We can boost the wheels and dress up like a ambulance attendant and hide you guys in the back and then we roll in.
Assuming it's actually ambulance attendants that are in.
Well, that's what I said. We gotta put eyes on it and tail it.
or find out what it goes back to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Find out where it goes back to.
But then is the place that he is
That
definitely
wouldn't
is going to be
surprise me
every
if
day.
it,
If it goes back to the insane asylum,
His
Yeah.
office at
I don't know if we
the
ever,
newspaper.
found out
Yeah,
if there
his
was
office
like
at the
a
newspaper he has
garage
that every
or
day from.
Midnight.
how about we do this? We'll watch the insane asylum. See if the ambulance comes out of there. And then we'll know. Then we can set a trap, either A, set a trap for the ambulance.
Thanks, honey.
Put a tire in the middle of the road, wait for him to stop, and then gun him down.
Just wave him down with your metal hand.
No. I'm not going to gun him down. I'll beat him to death with my metal hand.
Yeah, you're terrified of guns now.
But yeah, thanks for the machine gun, asshole.
Don't cry, I can handle guns just fine.
No wonder he's not
For
showing
now.
up anymore. He
For
almost
now.
killed me.
As long as they're being shot at you.
Also, more reason to shoot them back.
So what are you guys doing?
Going through the dossier.
Who's going through it?
Not me.
Someone smart.
I'm going to look.
I will.
Yeah.
Okay.
I give you.
We'll do it together.
Are there pictures?
Yeah, you can look at the pictures.
Is there comics in there for him?
Beautiful.
Pictures.
So whoever's reviewing the dossier can give me a focus or a sense.
looking at a portion of it or no?
Here, you can look at this portion. The pictures are boring.
I'm going to spend.
Have you
one
been
more-
working on some magic lately,
Yes.
Mr. Nero?
I became aware of it.
2 6s, and one of them's my gilded.
Nice.
Oh, I got the 5 of my gilded.
Oh.
And I got my drive that I just spent back.
Double 2s.
No,
3.
3 to 2.
That's scary though. You got the 2 6s. I got 2.
I like
So between the
understanding
two of you-
therapy even when you're talking about dice.
Everything that he summarized was definitely in the dossier. However, there is an employment slip and an employment posting for a company called the Taxi Works Incorporated that seems to be hiring taxi drivers for the time period of midnight to 5 a.m. That definitely seems suspicious because that's already prime time for the red lamp.
Mm-hmm.
Very few of those jobs ever really get needed. They're almost always full. And there's no date or amendment to the posting as to when the job would be terminated or not needed anymore. So that's one thing that you pick up on.
It's a taxi service. What? Like from midnight.
Midnight to 5 a.m.
So they're basically trying to find desperate drivers so that people who won't be missed.
Deliver them there instead of to their home.
You also find some newspaper clippings that they were using for research. And most of the clippings talk about the Frederickson Cemetery and some strange activity at the cemetery. And at least 1 or 2 sightings of ambulances parked there between 11 and midnight.
Where at?
Frederickson Cemetery.
Great, it's feeding
My-
on dead
my
bodies.
apples
They're
are good.
digging them up and putting them in the ride, I bet.
Frederick?
And it's located in the Briar Green.
Or they could be
Ambulances
using
parked
them
at what time?
as.
Between like 11 and midnight.
Yeah. Well, because remember, wasn't the whole.
Maybe the people in the insane
Ceremony?
asylum are actually okay.
Was bringing back dead people?
All right,
Oh, I think the ambulances are going there
they're
after the cemetery.
They're-
They're going to that.
they're picking up the dead bodies. Taking them,
They're
huh?
Yeah, picking up the
Yeah, and they're taking them
be
to the insane
reanimated.
asylum.
No, it's
to
not
the crib?
insane asylum. They're taking them to the house. That's where the ambulances are going like 2 hours after.
After
2
they've been
hours.
dug up.
Wait,
they've been dug out.
but he said that there was only ambulance.
How
It's
far
the
away?
ambulances that are at Frederickson
How far
Cemetery,
away is it?
not
2 hours away?
Give me a sense on that one.
I have no sense. Someone give a sense on it.
Someone can give you help.
All right, here we go. I'll do it.
Wait, what is he trying to say?
Oh my God, I got a 5 and a 6, so a 5.
Okay. As you watch them go through the notes, you have a brief memory of some of your previous activity when you were a police officer. You notice that the timing between all the different locations that they're currently looking at match the summary that the Eon gave you. Cemetery, from the cemetery to the red lamp is a couple hours. However, there'd be enough time for them to go to the newspaper building as well. There's also enough time for them to reach to where the newspaper gets printed. And it begins to form a pattern and a pentagram.
They are printing the newspapers on dead bodies.
The reanimating dead body.
No, it's making a pentagram.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to summon something.
They are turning the dead bodies into paper.
Is there
and
something in the
printing
center of the
You
pentagram?
are touching dead bodies on that paper.
Soylent
It
Green.
would not be the first time.
Is there something in the center of the pentagram?
I would Sandra.
There
It
is.
would not be the first time I touched it. That's all.
As you look at the center, it is
The museum.
the nope.
No?
It is the main administrative building of the primacy,
Oh,
the seat of power.
Wait,
That's the reason we got chased
We're
out
taking
of
everybody on? Jeez,
So
man.
they're trying to summon the primacy.
or there's something.
So does-
I don't like it when you play dummies. It's so not you.
Yeah, read the comics.
There's something. There's
Upside
something
down.
under
I
the
can't read the comics. They're made of people.
She can't do that.
Oh, she is. She did that on purpose.
Why don't you go color in the corner? Let the grown-ups do this.
But I don't know if
Mhm.
that paper's made of people too.
It's currently mid-morning, so it's roughly around 9
It's
a.m.
not
right
many
now.
people.
Can you imagine what the cramps
Second,
made of?
That's
kind of
neat.
You used to be
Names,
like good sidekick.
Alexandra.
Okay.
You know, it's a good time.
It's
for
actually where we went to the. It's basically where all the government buildings.
Alexandria,
are.
you find yourself getting up from the table
Kind of like the Pentagon.
and heading out the door with this
No, it's in the
intense
center of
gnawing craving for ice cream. And you know the one good ice cream parlor is only maybe 3 or 4 buildings down by the
Or I
dock.
need a mask. Anyone else want ice cream?
I pay for ice cream.
Orange whip, 3 orange whips.
Actually, I probably should get.
No, I'm good. Where are you going?
I want ice cream.
Yeah, don't leave the building.
But there's not ice cream in the building.
We'll send out.
Send out for it.
Get the butler to do it.
We don't have a butler.
Already up
Uh,
for ice cream.
I'll go for ice cream when this is all over. How's that sound? We'll get a big extra scoop and we'll get a banana split. All right?
No, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go
No.
get ice cream.
No, don't go out. She's gonna burn us, guys. They're already looking for us. They're already looking for us.
I'll
You're-
put on a mustache.
You're gonna get snatched.
She puts on a big handlebar mustache. Like a big plastic nose. Like a big plastic nose.
Hey,
I'm disguised.
you know what's better than? I got something that's way better than ice cream.
What?
It's called whiskey. Try this.
Is it ice cream flavor?
No.
Ice cream flavor.
You gotta just chug it.
You gotta chug it. That's what makes the best
That
flavor.
makes it taste.
It makes
like
it
ice
taste.
cream?
Yes. Oh, you know what? I forgot. It's the second one that makes.
No, here. There's this little tiny vial of laudanum. Really tastes like that. Here,
You'll see. I've had it.
smell it. Just smell it.
I've had that before. Woke up a week later.
Yeah, have some tea. So, I have some tea. So it will help with the craving.
No, we can get ice cream when we go out.
We gotta stay inside. We gotta make sure we move around in the dark because I think some of you already took a shot at me. And I know they.
Well, we're in a restaurant right now, aren't we?
In the diner, yeah.
Yeah,
What?
we're in a diner.
Yeah, you met the Eon at the Pinwheel Diner.
Who's gonna come
Does a
over?
diner have ice cream?
Could ask.
Not the best ice cream.
Diner, do you have ice cream? Waitress?
Yeah, we got
I thought
ice cream.
I would
We
like.
got vanilla and we got chocolate.
Oh,
Which one do you want? Do you want one scoop of each?
The fuck is a pistachio? Never heard of that before.
Can I get a scoop of each in one dish with something on top? You know, cherries. And
You want it warm or cold? I'm just kidding, dear.
It'll be on pie.
Yeah, we normally do put it on pie. You want it on a piece of pie?
Yes, please.
Okay. Comes back with like a tray full of pie and ice cream and sets it on the table.
Excellent.
There you go.
So that is what I need.
Knock yourself out.
Gigi, have some ice cream.
Like a brain from Brain Freeze.
Wait a minute. What's the character sheet say? Lactose intolerant.
He immediately goes running for the
You
bathroom.
take one body and one mind.
You can Brain Freeze, but you have to have the required equipment.
What's worse is the rest of us take the body.
Hey, no, we all no,
yeah.
no, we take a mind as we watch your crapper pants. No, it's in public. Ah.
That's
Okay.
why my pants are
That's right. You're the pirate with.
That one's got the right thing.
Where's your shirt? You ever heard that one? With pirates, the pirate ship shows up and the guy goes, "Bring me my red bring me my red jacket. And the sailor goes to the captain. The sailor goes, why do you want a red jacket? He goes, when I get cut, it won't show blood. And then so they have this action with, and then all of a sudden 5 ships show up one day and he goes, bring me my brown pants.
So what are you guys doing today?
So they're making a pentagram. It's going to open up the gates of hell, probably
In the press.
in the primacy.
Okay,
Or something bad's going to
do we
happen.
have a map at home that we can figure out exactly what points have been activated?
Have we been to
If
any of
they're
those points?
Possibly a
You've been to the
bleed.
museum.
Did we destroy
You
what
know
we
where the
needed to-
newspaper is. You know where the newspaper is being printed.
You destroy the museum.
All
Okay.
of us have been inside the primacy headquarters.
I'm chased out.
Well, no, actually, that's over in the that was just the administrative hall of records.
Yeah, that was just
That's
Hall of
not part of
Records.
the primacy.
No.
Okay.
Primacy is very exclusive. It's the seat of power. It's where all the government buildings are. And
We may have to talk to
Look,
Murphy about
the
getting
we have the most intel right now in that packet of the place that he goes into. We have a way in with the ambulance. We pay our cards right, maybe.
Except we're all kind of known now.
We gotta do it.
No,
We gotta
that's
do it
why
at
I
night.
must die.
We got,
Roscoe takes a break. Like he literally watches his eye twitches and then gets like the paralysis. Like a tendon snapped.
all right, I
If
will.
an eyelid had
No,
tendons.
don't take it.
No, I'm
Don't
kidding. I'm
Don't
kidding.
I'll take it. All right.
He wants it too much. He's hungry for the day.
He's hungry for the death.
She should have like the sugar, go into a sugar coma in a minute.
The whiskey and the ice cream. Yeah.
Roscoe, when
So
you
we
die,
know-
I want to experiment on your body.
Baby, you can experiment on my body. There's an alley out back.
I want you to swallow
A lot
this
of
liquid.
He's on the second shot of whiskey.
I want you to take, swallow this liquid and tell me if it burns.
The acid. It's like it's frothing and bubbling.
I'll try anything once.
You only get to try that one once.
Everything is edible at least
Pay
once.
me $20, I won't drink.
You have the death wish.
All right. What do you guys think? So do we just go there and try to get in, or do we want to wait? Do we want to wait and wait for the ambulance to go in? There's going to be guards. At least we could get into the building.
Do we have any other information on the primacy?
As far as you know, the primacy is just the political seat of power.
They're doing something with the primacy. I mean, I think if we got, like I said, we got enough information on that one building. Maybe we
Has
should
there been
concentrate.
anybody
Do we
missing?
want to focus on the weakest point of the pentagram or the star
Pentagram,
or whatever? Try and just pick out one section
Well,
instead of trying to.
We can try to take the dude out with his bodyguard.
Is the cemetery one of the
We know
points
where
of
he's
the
going to
star?
be and what time he's going to be there. We could ambush him.
It is.
Okay, let's light the
The
cemetery on
Oh.
fire.
Let's go
The
to
Frederickson
I
Cemetery
think we have to
is
do
one of the points.
Oh, then we can-
Let's light the cemetery on fire.
he leaves his office with the guy, right?
Mhm. So is
We put a
the
bomb in his car.
I
but
mean,
if the building is where
We'll
the
wire it to the
is-
ignition.
Is the building the leech?
I don't know, but we kill
I-
the guy
I-
and kill his
I
bodyguard.
really
That's
don't-
2 people down.
I really don't think this is something we should discuss.
Try and break the.
Waitress, what do you think?
Right, so that- we need to break the cycle of the points.
So we tear up the road between the
Well,
points.
we would kill 2 birds with 1 stone because the paper place is one of the points, and he's there at night. We know his schedule. He's leaving with his bodyguard. Stays there an hour. Lights goes off. He leaves with his bodyguard.
But
So
we might be releasing something that we don't wear until we actually. There might be something that if we destroy the building, we might be releasing it into the
well,
public.
no, I don't want to destroy the building. I don't want to destroy him and his bodyguard.
But that wouldn't stop whatever is attached to the point. There might be
But
a bleed. There might
Okay,
be
we
something
could go look at
in
the
his,
bleed without
there
getting
might
shot
be
at.
something in his office that
That
Yeah.
demon dude that nobody knows who his name is attack us and kill us. So we pull those two up and we go find the bleed from there and shut that bleed down.
if he's in
Hey,
his office at a certain
Ross
time,
using too much of his
every
own
day.
supply.
then he's probably doing some kind of occult ritual within that time frame.
Yeah. Let's see what you guys came up with. You came up with last time. Let's go talk to the lady that was possessed. And we got Jack.
You're suggesting just we get ourselves
I just now know not to go help anyone.
kidnapped.
Well, how many people died in the explosion at mine?
No,
we
you
know
don't
that
want to
yet?
get kidnapped again.
Did we ever
How many
hear how many people died in the explosion?
No, in fact, the newspaper never reported anything.
This is a secret war.
Of
Nobody's
course
going to
the
report on that.
newspaper did. It's still a sin.
I mean, as far as the public access of information is concerned, nothing happened at the Nine Irons that night.
Nero, what do you think, man?
Like I said, I'm leaning more towards trying to take out one of the points in the car, which is also is it Tillison and his bodyguard.
Right.
Disrupt
Because
the-
Yeah, but is it Tillison and his bodyguard though?
they're one of the facilitators.
The location, though, is where the point would be, though, not
Yeah,
the person.
But the person's the
Okay,
one that
look.
facilitates the action.
Look, we take out the two guys, blow them up in their car, and we go in and find the bleed in the building and take care of it. We don't want to try to go into the building while they're in there and then try to do the bleed while we're getting shot
So
at.
make their death a distraction.
Trying to infiltrate.
Yeah.
This waitress is just
That's-
the strongest.
They're like, she's like
Right.
pouring a cup of coffee. It's
We
over
can sneak
filling
into
onto the
building while
floor.
it's still open, possibly.
I know.
We could be by there, just see where they park the car, and then set the dynamite in the
The
car.
little girl from Jurassic Park with
You know,
Jello.
with the ignition switch, and they're done. And then why everybody's freaking out, we'll slip in. Look for the bleed, contain it, then disappear, and then maybe go after another one. the
Can
next time.
you, my dear, make an explosive that would go in their gas tank?
You mean that's gonna put them to sleep?
quite capable of making acidic things, explosive things, flammable things. I can make things are loud, don't put you to sleep.
How about like 12 sticks of dynamite with some blasting caps and wire it to their ignition? There you go.
I'm not sure if that is
The
something
mob
that-
used to do that all the time. That's how they got rid of people.
We need to make it so that they can get away from the building first. So they need to
Yeah.
drive away.
No.
No, not necessarily. It's not going to blow the whole building up. It's going to blow up the car.
And, what perhaps he has a driver who goes and trusts the ignition.
Then one of them's down.
It's not
Then we
that
have to
cold
deal
yet.
with one of them.
It's not that cold yet.
Either way, we disrupt their plan and they.
No, at the beginning of fall.
Move outside of his comfort zone.
Or if it's in a parking lot, we can rig our own car with explosives, park it next to it,
I'm sure the
then
Obscura
walk
would
away
love
and then
that.
detonate it
When
remotely
they jump in.
Remotely.
with magic.
With
We
magic.
don't have another car.
It doesn't have to be our car. We can just steal another car. It's not like we've never done that before.
The waitress is sitting down listening to this. This is interesting. What are you guys doing?
Or we could just
Role playing.
We got like salt, pepper shakers all over the table.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, which one of you's the bottom?
We have ketchup and a pentagram on a map. See right there.
Like the French fries, the newspaper office, the
See the two French fries come
French
out of
fries
this building and
cemetery.
then boom.
red lamp building. and-
More salt and pepper shakers.
I'm just tired of getting shot at.
Thank you. It's tea and crumpets.
Since I joined this thing, I've been shot, blown up, involved in car accidents.
How many fingers can you count on that?
All of them. My hand blown off. Damn it! Damn it! So
Oh, that's right. You did get two.
Just in
Okay.
case.
Yeah, he lost 2 things.
I'll back up. I'll let you guys talk.
I'll
That's just my idea.
have to make. I have my
That's what I'm leaning towards. Just remember, people, kiss.
keep it short and simple, Stephen.
That's
Kids.
kiss.
It also
That was a
means
band.
kingdom in Satan's service.
We have several avenues to explore. We have what you're doing before. We have about the offices, the pentagrams, the papers. We even know about the taxis.
So maybe we need to split up and go in 2 different directions.
Or we answer the ad and be
I mean, that's actually not the worst thing I've
Hey,
ever
there you
heard.
go. Now we've got a car to park next to the. We don't even have to steal it.
I was actually thinking.
We'll give them a
that.
ride and then just detonate and say, I'll be right back. I got to take a whiz. And then walk out and detonate the car.
Did it say you had to have your own phone?
Nope. They said you just need drivers.
I'm quite a good driver.
Hey, that's a
if I
good
can
way
say
to get
something
around.
like that.
Hey, I didn't know that. That's a good way to get around town and people don't pay attention to you.
But
But they want
the last time we did something like that, Nero got kidnapped.
Well, I
Oh
got
no,
kidnapped
he
'cause I went-
willingly walked with.
Because he went in with the enemy and talked to him and had tea with him.
Well, from what he had said,
I
he
got
was
in the
quite
car
surrounded.
with a stranger.
Yeah. Here, Nero. Get in the van. Get in the windowless van, Nero.
Wait, it was a 2-seater convertible, you
Well,
know.
it was pretty.
It was pretty. She was a nice car.
It was a convertible.
I love this game.
We have candy.
I'll take a fake tootsie.
For those of you signing off right now because we're not doing anything, it's been nice having you.
All right, so do we want to try and go after the house, or do we want to try and be a taxi driver, or do we want to blow up the cemetery?
Jason, what do you think?
Why are we blowing up the cemetery?
Because it's the point in the pentagram.
I think
and
we
can
need to
just
go
burn it on
invest.
fire.
Because
I will
we
go
pull up a
investigate the
cemetery.
cemetery.
It's kind of like necrophilia.
I want to investigate the cemetery.
we will
I
go
don't think
No
that's true.
body.
I feel victimized by the threat.
I'm like going, what?
you nothing with that.
They're just going over there for a cold one.
Oh no, you dare.
Piggy, you'll get me a bossy, won't you?
How about
I'm gonna be the body.
No, Piggy, never
The
you.
three of us are going to investigate the cemetery.
Okay. Now, evening, or what are you doing?
We were
Time.
kids.
Uh,
Not
Crack
like
it off.
Buster.
No? Okay, so tomorrow morning you'll investigate it? Okay.
That's how I got the hump.
We need to do something.
tonight?
Our ways is-
You guys are currently in
Bad people do things at night. You gotta go at night. Know what's going on.
you know, it's the borders of the Seidel and the Briar Green. Maybe an hour from where your current residence is.
So the ambulances are parked in the cemetery between 11 p.m. and midnight.
so we need to go then.
Maybe a little bit earlier. Just get there at 10 o'clock.
Clandestine.
No, we got to go there early so we can lay in wait and hide and maybe dig some trenches and stay.
That's
Tomorrow.
Technically, you three could be taxi drivers. Like they recognize your shit.
Eat your ice cream.
I can't drive.
That makes sense.
I can't drive either.
He's missing fingers.
Technically, I can't drive. That's really the reason I'm alive.
You've been the go-to driver.
Yeah.
So who's going to the Frederick Cemetery?
Hmm.
I want to go to the cemetery.
Okay. We got
Are we splitting
Alexandria, Mechanicus, and
You guys all
Elizabeth.
want to go to the cemetery tonight? We can all go to the cemetery.
I
We can
forgot
snatch
the
some
taxi
bodies
drivers
ourselves.
the next day.
Can I just tell you? Every time we split up, bad fucking things have happened.
We also learn more.
I mean, I got shot while we were in together. So.
I had to carry you. You are not light.
Why? Technically, we were split up.
Are you playing that?
No.
I think the rule
The ice
is
cream
it
is.
is okay. The party just never go alone.
Somebody
You're
was
all-
like setting bombs in the parking lot. So next thing, but
It's like 20 feet away.
It's easier to kidnap 2 than 3, but it is definitely better never to go alone.
You just want to go to the graveyard.
That's why I
get
love this
bodies.
game. They do all the work.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You just want to be kidnapped.
Everybody,
Why would I want to be kidnapped?
Because
Let
you're
me
we talk
have a-
about it all the
Because you're
time.
jealous and arrow.
Jealous of not being wanted.
That was one of your ideas. You said, should we get kidnapped?
it didn't help. To,
That came out of your mouth.
Secretly, like a
It's a kidnapping
kid.
fetish.
Yeah.
I was able to smooch the ladies at the party that she was made that she made run away.
Well, I have no bad I realized I'm a genius and kidnapped me for my scientific research.
Somewhere out
Picture
in an
right
abandoned
quite
building,
literally.
somewhere out there, there's a slight explosion as they use her stolen research.
I'm not done with that. Hey, does the other side pay better than this side?
I only pay with candy.
How do you think they got him?
So I know I've got the 3 of you heading out to the Frederick Cemetery in the evening.
I guess all of us are going.
All of us are going.
Okay.
Yeah, we're all going.
Okay.
But we should probably stagger our movements.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
I mean,
Taxi
a group of
cab,
6
drive.
people just walking down the street is a little suspicious.
I jog in really short shorts.
And
Slip
looking
into the
around, we all have
graveyard.
different aesthetics.
Get the fox to come up over.
All the way, yeah.
Are you Lieutenant Dangle?
No, no, with skates like the guy in the guy who
The other
used to
guy
stop
in
all the
Reno
time.
911, yeah.
Yeah. The male hooker.
Oh my God, Roscoe's a male hooker. I love it.
What are you guys doing?
Definitely. Why always? Why are you so?
You're over there giving blowjobs behind the dumpster. No, it wasn't.
My favorite part is when they try to catch him. He's all oily.
I love that show.
Best. Did you ever see the movie?
Mm-hmm.
That movie was pretty good, especially the hotel scene where they're all. Sorry, tangent. Now I want to watch Reno 911. All right, so you guys spend some time throughout the day, kind of just preparing yourselves for the evening activity. Is there any particular piece of equipment you would like to grab before
Dark
you head out?
clothing.
Okay.
Clothing, shovels. Kind of make it look like we're.
I'm always taking my own action.
Grave
Okay.
digging. You want to make it look like grave digging? We're gonna get arrested.
Not necessarily. We could, and it makes it easier to blend in.
Oh yeah, we're gonna blend in with the government-sponsored grave digging, but we're not government-sponsored.
Well, I mean, I am a doctor. I'm sure.
The wire. How long is that wire?
It is 11 inches long.
Was it the ring or what?
The ring.
Like the ring.
Just long enough to turn into a rock.
Or to be an illusionist.
Like you're grabbing something. You're not getting super big a yo-yo.
All right.
So you guys-
have a med kit?
Yeah, we all have.
We all got new mentions.
We all have that.
Or did we stop
What
giving
has
first?
two uses.
Do you pick up, take 3 items with you?
Anyone comfortable?
I'm going
So,
to.
I'm trying to pick my third.
I'm going to take the med kits and the lab equipment, and can I just, if something comes up, say I got another one?
Mhm.
Okay.
I'm going to bring my gun.
I lost my
I'm gonna
crystal
bring a
ball.
fucking rope.
Sadness.
Wait, why are you sad?
Because Monkey took my crystal ball.
He did.
I'm going to
Let
probably
me
make
get this
sure we have a leak detector with
You're
us.
not dying.
We have leak detectors and a couple extra batteries. Unless I took them away, but
No, there's pretty much plenty of equipment that they keep at the house now because this is
Equipment.
has been on a number of cases now. They keep it pretty well stocked up with things you might need.
we do.
These guys are going to keep themselves blown up. Make sure they
As you guys wake up from your midday sleep to be better prepared for your overnight adventure at the Frederick Cemetery, are we taking cabs or the car? What are we doing?
I'm gonna have a car.
No car.
Oh,
Car
that's
blew
right.
up.
Again.
Right. Want to call for another one?
Monkey might not be happy about that. Let's wait to tell him.
I think that's a great idea. How about we get a taxi from the company? We can learn more about their job while we drive over to the cemetery.
You have to
Uh,
be hired first.
Oh, I'm sure
No,
they have drivers.
No, she means call them to drive us.
Okay.
I got a
We should
better
probably
idea.
get away from the house
Before we-
do so.
She to go over and get a job there, and then we could call her to come pick us up.
Oh my gosh!
Legit, legit.
That's so
Would you
GTA
like
5.
to do that? Would you like to get a part-time job? I make sure you are.
I know, missing half of my like,
Let's check out the taxi thing tomorrow, and let's just do the
That's good. Yeah, we need to
Cemetery
investigate this thing.
well, it was on the paper, the flyer for the hired for taxi
Mhm.
service. Or is it a particular day that they're doing it?
No, it's just an address at the Taxi Work Cab Co. and just describes, talk to Mr. Tomlin about if you're interested in a job as a taxi driver between the hours of midnight and 5 a.m.
TOMLN.
Probably.
Everything from midnight to 5 a.m. is so strange. That's a weird interviewing time.
no, that's when the job opening is.
That's a strange time for an interview.
Yeah.
Is there aspirin in there?
Roscoe's like, I definitely take a brain. I think I took a brain.
I'm just gonna take a scar, mental scar.
We can always give it a call, see if kill two birds with one stone. See if I can apply for the job and
And kill things?
yes,
How are we killing things with a phone call?
yeah, kill them with cells right
All right, let's remove.
She
our
goes back to
thumbs.
reading the comics upside down.
Let's remove our thumbs from our ass cheek. And
Let's get a move on.
I cast remove thumb from ass.
yeah, that's
You have spells?
Did she
Mostly
lose a
just-
few brain cells in the explosion, or was she always like
she's
I
pretty
don't
on
forget
top
about
like
your
that.
many, many adventures.
Did you get hit in the head last time or something?
No, I didn't get it.
I don't think so.
I don't remember
So
being.
far, you've been shot at,
This
I think,
dumb.
and then
Been
Last
shot.
time.
yeah, me and then the ending or the star.
Bullseye.
whatever.
No, the bullseye.
You've gotten bleed a
Bullseye
few
star.
times, right? You're just a little crazy now.
I just took my needle away. I never put no stitch.
Hello? Yeah, can I get a taxi?
Yeah, where you at?
I'm at the diner.
Yeah, sure. I can send a taxi over there, no problem.
Thanks.
You guys are actually back at your
Oh,
residence.
God damn it. That guy's fucked. Well, I'm gonna go up like a block. I'm not gonna have him pick me up.
Yeah,
Right.
let's not have them pick them up from
Okay.
the house.
You could always go to the drive.
You watch as one of those kind of like, huh?
Is there a park?
Yeah, there's probably a little
Walk
local
to the
park
park?
nearby.
We gotta have them put this in the park.
All of us?
Well, no, we have to have
Whole
tickets.
multiple different
Multiple
taxi
different
services.
Yeah. In different locations.
So you should call the one that's suspicious, and we'll call the others.
Sure.
You need to
Don't
take a
look
taxi.
suspicious. Don't look suspicious.
Are you going with him?
I'm calling happy-go-lucky.
I'm not
taxi
superstitious.
service.
I'm just a little stitious.
Because
Hello, this is Happy Go Lucky, where we're always lucky that we're happy that we're going somewhere. What can I do for you?
Hi, I need a taxi.
Oh dear, what's it like to need and want? It'll be there shortly.
It happens all the time, so I'm sure you're familiar with it.
Okay, that was good. So you got a cab coming. You want the suspicious one? Come and get you?
Sure.
Okay. Another cab for a couple other people?
3 of us.
Okay.
I'll just pick out a location that's not cemetery,
Well, you
somewhere
probably fit
around the
into cars.
cemetery that I can have them drive.
Better to keep us together.
Hero, do you want to go in my cab?
Sure.
Cool.
Okay. So as all of you break off in different directions,
And we hold hands.
cab that picks you up over by the park.
Ooh.
It's a strange looking car. It's not like a car you've ever seen before, but it's painted yellow and black. It's got the name of the cab company, Taxi Works, on the side of it. It's definitely a larger vehicle than you've seen before. And it seems to give off a strange exhaust. This must be one of those new gas vehicles that they've been talking about lately. Only just recently coming out of the steel. A gentleman sitting up in the front looks up, sees you. Call a cab.
Yeah.
Get in.
Get in.
Get in.
What's the number of the cab?
1245.
60.
Yeah, it'd be 69. Okay. Make it 69, please. Okay. Okay. I tell them to take me wherever.
And rather than that kind of clunky piston driven sound that most of the other steam engines have, this has like a low rumbling kind of like sound as it takes off.
This is a nice ride.
Yeah. Frederickson Cemetery, right?
No, I didn't give him that. I gave him somewhere close by.
Oh, somewhere close by it?
Yeah.
Stanton Park. Okay, no problem. Starts driving. So you new in town.
Yeah. I'm fresh off the boat, pal.
Yeah. You like to gamble?
Not particularly.
You like girls,
Honestly, odds
boys,
are in my favor.
animals? What's your preference?
I got something more to be. I can't do that right now.
All right.
I'll hit you up.
Tell you what though, if you like really good live shows, like a killer live show, you gotta see. It just goes back to track.
Killer live
Let me
show.
guess. It's got a
That's
donkey
suspicious.
in it.
No, but that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
You like stop. You can see them spread over different parts of the Stanton Park, but because you're all kind of spread out before you kind of gather. You get out of the taxi, and eventually all of you gather in the shadow of the nearby park. The cemetery is only about another half a mile down the way.
There, I'm on the swing set.
I'm pushing you.
But it's like you know that person
Fine.
that thinks that they're actually doing really good, but they're perfectly still, just pumping legs, not going
I just picture your buff part.
I am behind you and I am just reading a book and I'm pushing you.
I'll go
You're
over.
just patting my back.
I'll walk
It's-
by like I don't know them.
Okay, it's like 10:30 at night. You guys watch as Roscoe just kind of casually walks by you, starts going down the main street. It'll take you in the direction of the cemetery.
The taxis
They've all
go
gone.
off on their
Yeah.
own, including his.
Mm-hmm.
How about the local park killer? You know,
Look at who?
the park killer.
Jack the Ripper?
You know the murder in the park.
I think that's just a book or a screenplay.
Did you ever blow bubbles in the park when you were a kid? Yeah. He's back in town. He's asking for
That's such an old joke.
That's kind of wrong. That it's like
Yeah, you think?
I
It is
know,
wrong.
as a kid.
Oh, yeah, right. That's right.
You said say as a
It's
kid.
super wrong. Yeah, that's the funny thing about the joke.
It's like so bad. It's definitely dark out. This part of the
Oh God, I love you.
the section between the sidle or between the Greenbrier and the sidle, it's kind of like old abandoned space, almost like it's never been properly developed, so it's just been kind of converted into either dilapidated storage buildings, and like you can see the beginnings of the cemetery off to the edge, and there's lots of trees that have just kind of been allowed to grow wild. You can see condemned single unit houses kind of like half collapsed in on themselves. It's a pretty rundown area. not very well kept.
Is this before the cemetery or kind of?
You're walking through it on your way to the cemetery. Yeah.
Is there any activity going on around us?
Give me a survey as you look around.
I'm keeping an eye out too.
Give me a survey as you look around.
Are you the top of the swing set or all?
4, 5. Mixed success on the low end, mixed success on the high end. It is surprisingly quiet. You can hear the kind of like fall cicadas that are out. The normal night noises are there. You begin to notice that a lot of the lamps don't work here. A lot of the gas lamps are all kind of either broken or non-functioning. Glass that like keeps the flame protected is cracked. It's also when you begin to notice that you're walking alongside the beginnings of the cemetery. And you realize how large it is. It's quite a large cemetery.
I can get the sense of the area.
Mhm.
Is there any way I can try and get the sense of the area?
Yeah, give me a sense.
'Cause, I don't know. Sense and graveyards tend to go hand in hand.
Well, like I said, usually that's one of the biggest things in slum areas is cemeteries.
That would be a 5.
5? I mean, between what you guys are saying, you do get kind of a weird vibe about this place. And that's when you notice like the wrought iron fencing is old and corroded and rusted. The stone half walls are all kind of either partially collapsed in, mortar is spilling out like they're not being kept up.
Nobody's maintaining the.
It doesn't feel like this place is being maintained. And that's when you begin to notice that a lot of the headstones are old and worn. This doesn't feel like it's an active graveyard. Feels like it might be one that's full and has been allowed just to kind of dilapidate.
So
But
it's
it
easier to desecrate.
it looks to be about maybe 10 square blocks of cemetery space. It's quite
It will
large.
be- no,
And off in the middle, because even though it's dark, the moonlight as it comes up off the back, I see the moonlight reflecting off a smaller kind of, like the smaller, what do they call them? Brain fart on that one.
Headstone?
No,
Tombstone? Mausoleum.
mausoleums, like these old, dilapidated, old school looking mausoleums that aren't very big. Some are small. Some even look like they're just kind of like dedicated statues that are bigger than headstones. So near the middle of the cemetery, it appears like that's where most of maybe the more well-to-do people would have been buried, based on what you're seeing.
So this isn't a plague grave.
Lead detector.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Doesn't seem to be.
I think we need to break out the lead detector.
Well, let's get in and amongst the cemeteries. So that some of the
Access doesn't look very difficult. There's broken areas of the wall. There's collapsed areas of the iron.
You could probably break the
And it's nighttime, right?
It is nighttime, yeah.
10:30. We just don't want to be observed.
Yes,
Going out.
I think you should
Just to see if anything's going on level with this.
Imagining pulling out
There's no cause on the
shoulder.
street, right? Is there any cause on the street?
Nope.
Don't cross the streams.
All right, everyone. We have to. There's no cause on the street. There's nothing you can feel to the people. We do not have a taxi or any way to leave the scene if there is something that goes wrong. So we need to be very careful.
I got my pistols ready.
anyways. Are there actually any cars?
Finally,
I just
someone's
we
as
could-
paranoid as I am.
We could always steal one of the ambulances and then show up and help out.
I thought they show up tomorrow.
No, they show up in the cemetery.
Between 11 and midnight.
I got my location from. I thought that they were able to show up at the house.
They take it to the house.
Ah, so they okay. So they did find out
Yeah.
where they came from.
They take it to the not a whorehouse at 2 a.m.
I was trying to write down a lot at the same all that at once, and I was just giving.
So we need to get over to the area that the ambulance is spotted and do a bleed or do the bleed detector over there to find out what exactly they are activating up.
Or a big
they're
hole and a
excavating.
fence somewhere to go
Or-
through.
It's a supposition.
Possibly they might be, especially in the crypts.
Right,
It's easier to remove a
I'm
body
thinking we
from a
might
crypt
wanna-
than it is from the ground.
Use the bleed
And it's
detector
just-
outside the
and
graveyard
look
to
for
find
a wall,
out
find
where
that
in
hole,
the
just
graveyard
go
you
through.
want to go.
Well, if I just have
Yeah.
to guess,
That would be good.
considering the nature of Old Fair and New
What's the
Fair,
range on those things?
and the fact that this is a old cemetery and
Isn't that
there
just
are
clockwork?
mausoleums here, there is a
I'm
chance.
trying to keep his head out of it.
Oh,
Like, it is that camera that
Him
used
and
to
his
work
head.
fine and stuff.
As I was saying,
well,
since
we might take that arm and then move the camera over and then angle it so that it's,
Yeah. It's just that everyone keeps hitting it.
you know,
So it's kind of almost impossible if we can set it right because it just keeps getting hit.
and it's usually me. He
Yeah.
says everyone. He means
Yeah, everyone.
So we need to get over to the
Titty
area
quotes.
where the larger mausoleums are.
Well, I like titty quotes. That's a lot of bounce.
There's a very strong possibility that under one of the mausoleums there might
Go through a
be
hole.
another ground.
You guys watch as Giggy crawls through a broken part of the wall and ends up inside the cemetery. And she's just on the other side, like looking at all of you, and starts looking around. Yeah, the wall's only about 2 feet tall.
I don't understand why she crawled through a hole.
I thought there was a hole in the wall.
You like get down on your hands and knees and crawling through. It's just like this mouse hole type.
So-
You watch as Nero opens the gate.
follow in the
My favorite is that meme of the two dogs barking at each other until they open up the gate. They're still barking at each other.
No, they open it, they stop barking at it.
Yeah.
Then they close it again, they start barking at each other.
I'd like to use the bleed detector to try and see if I can find where in the cemetery it might happen.
You fire it up, you feel the battery hum. The needle kind of tacks over, like powered on, and then lies flat. And just no signature, no nothing pointing at it.
Does it have what's the range on it?
Not very well. I mean, probably within like 100 feet or so.
Oh shoot. Okay, well let's go to the mausoleum first. It's the biggest thing.
Start looking.
That's a
We only have a limited time, so we need to get over to
As you guys kind of like fan out a little bit and start walking towards the center of the cemetery, there's light up ahead. You hear digging. You hear people's voices.
No, one softer, quieter.
I lay down.
turn a big stick.
Okay.
As you guys stop for a moment. First, it's like guttural laughter. Yeah, I know, man, but don't have to worry about them being dead. I mean, they're mostly just gross. Yeah, but whoever heard of paying so much money for these just rotten old bones? I mean, the other cemeteries pay more when you steal them for the professors of the laboratories. And yeah, they pay way better than this. Yeah, but there's so many here. You never get caught here. They just seem to be going back and forth, talking about digging up old bones and going back and forth, going back and forth. You can hear that. It sounds like they're drinking a lot too. Every now and then you hear like
Shit, they fall
bottles
out.
being popped open.
Which one of us?
Now you can smell like cigarette smoke and cigar smoke.
Because I feel like they might not be involved, but they must have some information if they come here.
All right. This batch is done. Take the card out front, would you? And he watches this kind of like this guy starts walking out of the lit area, and you can hear the cobblestone pathway kind of on the rickety cart. And he's got a cart filled with maybe a dozen or so old desiccated bones and body parts, and but they're all old. And he starts just kind of taking it, and he takes the cart up to another section of the cemetery, sets the cart down, and grabs an empty cart, takes it back to where they're digging. Seems like they're just harvesting old skeletons and bones and bits and bobs from the different mausoleums.
We need to steal the car.
No, he
No,
said cart.
cart.
The ambulances aren't there yet.
Nope.
No, the cart.
You want to steal the cart of dead bodies?
Yes.
We
Is
don't
there-
have a bag of holding to put them in.
Not yet.
Her wires are always crossed.
Is this a point on the pentagram?
It is.
So they
No pings on the lead detector.
None at all.
How far away from the mausoleum? Sir?
You're maybe only about 40 or 50 feet hiding in the darkness because they're so loud and not like on any kind of guard. There's no reason for you to even need to roll a hide. I mean, you could just be in the shadows and the darkness,
can we see the
and
names on the tombstones?
most of them are faded,
They're all bored.
old
just
and
can't
worn and
find.
dilapidated.
It would be a good assessment that these were old enough to be public.
Not quite, but give me. Ooh, I like that though. Give me a focus.
Old as
I'm
Newfaire?
gonna use one more drive.
Pretty old, but there's old fair and new fair,
Old fair is
considered ancient.
There has to be a reason, because if these bones are on a ley line,
As you investigate, you can't help out but point to Lady Mechanicus that a lot of these headstones are what they call first family. Some of the first families that either held seat in the triumvirate or the primacy, or this feels like on the cusp of when Newfaire was being founded and reestablished.
and I'm going to point out to her from in my readings, I remember that certain places imbibe imbue in bones if they're on a ley line,
Mm-hmm.
and the cemetery is obviously on a ley line.
So I think we should take the card of
We need
bodies
to
so
take
they
the
can't
bones.
use them.
I think
We
we
can
should
just hide
hide
them
in the
somewhere.
We need to-
ambulance. Bones in there.
Just to
No,
solve it.
we don't want to disrupt it this soon
Oh
because
my
they're
gosh, we're
gonna
going to have to
start
blow up the
investigating. And we're
graveyard.
gonna
Oh my goodness.
I told you, let's blow up the graveyard.
We're gonna have to blow up the graveyard,
Burn it down.
No.
or at
Yeah.
least this particular
Salt.
area. Oh,
Probably the whole.
because
Let's-
because we can't just. There's no way you can disturb a ley line. It's
Let's
in the ground.
let's check. Let's just check the mausoleum real quick with the bleed detector just to make sure there's nothing here.
Yeah.
There's not a focus here or something like that.
Yeah, we need to make our way around to the mausoleum.
So within about 20 minutes, the final card is full. They douse their lanterns, and you could hear them drinking heavily as they're laughing and chortling on about an easy night's work. And they're going up that path, up towards the front where all the other carts are in wait. There are 4.
That's a lot. How many people are there?
A dozen per cart.
No, there's probably about 6 grave diggers that you could pick out.
Because they're all kind of like in the ground right now, smoking, talking about things. They're
Not now.
No, they're around the carts.
Now they've gone off with the last of the carts while you guys were kind of like hiding and listening in. They're pretty quick at their work.
Perhaps these bones are perhaps
We've been imbued.
with leyline energies
Leyline
which they're
energy.
using for some dark rituals.
Indeed.
So we are not going to find any bleed here, but we might need to go to the
Graveyard's huge. Did you say
10 city
10
blocks.
city blocks? Can't burn.
house. Well, shame.
There's got to be
If
one
we-
spot. somewhere.
There has to be a ley line in itself. We have to find the pinnacle of the ley line.
Okay, they followed a quarter-mile cobblestone path that led them up towards the front of the cemetery. You could see the old main gates are where they're kind of gathered at.
Was
Right now.
there
Does it
a
look like-
very specific area that they were digging?
He's
And
got a-
amongst the
he's got a
mausoleums.
containment button.
And does it
You don't even-
have,
Why would you have one?
because I'm usually the one that goes and grabs the things.
You're like, you're dumb. Why would you?
I thought you needed.
Well, there's dumb and then there's resourceful.
Okay, yeah.
Where they're digging, is it like in a line? Does it look like old digging and see where they dug
It
before, where they're digging now?
give me a survey. Remember, I'm not doing high, low, and medium
I know.
risk anymore. So
They're digging
I
in the
don't
wrong
have
place.
drive.
indie.
I have no drive.
I'm going to give you a drive.
I gotta find it.
Okay. There's no organization to the digging. The one thing that you pick up on, they're digging outside the mausoleums. And they're digging along unmarked areas outside the mausoleum.
And outside of
And there are these now open holes everywhere around some of these mausoleums.
So they're digging up bodies that didn't have gravestones? They somehow knew they were there?
Seems to be.
Are they kind of in a line?
Not really.
Does it...
It's very random.
All right. Well, there's nothing here then. Don't trust me.
I think we need to at least investigate the main use of the mausoleum. Because
Well,
I think we're digging it up.
why don't we split up, gang?
Okay,
That
Shaggy.
always works for us.
Somebody can watch the carts and where they go and follow.
It's the janitor
follow
from the
the
high school.
ambulance. Yeah, right. You
Mr. Grievousson.
darn kids.
We got nowhere with
You meddling kids. Or is meddling. Anyway,
We could always knock out the grave diggers, steal their clothes.
6 of them.
We need the grave diggers. There's 6 of us. There's 6 of them. We get paid.
I have
They're
knockout
grave
gas.
diggers. What are we doing with the grave diggers?
Well, if
Instead of
we
we
put
put them in the hole.
No, they'll replace them.
basically we would
Roscoe reaches in for his flask.
well, no, what we do is we pretend to be that when the ambulance gets
Ah, damn it. No. I'll
Because
stay here.
they may not know
So
about
it's on
the
flat.
We can't exactly pass for grave diggers, dear.
Giggy good.
He's got a hump.
Giggy like moves the hump back on the other side.
Remember?
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
That's
It was
Did her
all-
twin come out?
it was all cottage cheese and yellow mustard.
Oh, okay. Tapioca pudding.
well, okay, so these two could pass as a grave digger. These two might we might not be able to
Giggy
do
can
it.
pass as a corpse.
We may not be able
This
to
one's
pass
too
because
old
these
to
guys-
use.
these guys they close the back. Perhaps we might just put it in as one of the group.
I think these gentlemen are a little bit more.
Let's go. You got a detector, right?
Maybe not these could be just
No, I
hired
think
men
one
to dig up
But
bodies.
you're that I was like
That
covered in
part.
your
Right.
anyways.
Yeah, but they might not care about the people who they
I've been shot and had enough here. I
What's
really
up
don't
this-
want to take that chance.
What's at the center of the?
I'm just saying.
Give me a survey. While you kind of hear them all going back and forth about ideas, you kind of glance over.
I got a 4.
a 4. Mixed success on the low side. There is an object in the center, but it's kind of too dark to see from this distance.
Who's got the blue detector?
I think Giggy has it.
I have a
Gigs, follow me. Let's go.
So you and Giggy head
We'll be
over.
back.
I'm going
You
with,
watch the carts.
I'm going with
Okay. So Alexandra, Giggy, and Roscoe heading towards the object that you can see.
Yeah.
you guys are watching
Um,
part of the
Yeah.
Somebody have a flashlight?
Yeah, I got my burglar
Okay.
Is
kit.
there one in
Okay.
survival kit?
There is usually. Yeah. Okay. As you guys pass through the mausoleums that haven't been disturbed, there's a lot of ground here. There's like it's definitely strange. The layout is strange. That's when it hits you. You get to the center of the mausoleum structure, and you recognize a marble statue. It looks exactly like that image that you saw on the inside of the chapel at the insane asylum. But it's a black obsidian eye on like a marble stone, like it's supposed to be a headstone, and it's sitting on top of a faded compass pedestal, northeast, south, and west.
Is there a piece of the statue that acts as a pointer that points to a certain direction or compass down?
Give me a focus as you start to look at
I'm the worst person to do this, guys. I'm just telling you. Focus.
it.
I'm rolling with a disadvantage when I
No,
do
you
focus.
have one.
I'll roll.
You have one on survey and you have one on focus.
Oh, shit.
Remember, because you're swapping.
No, it's not without a swap. He's
Was
got
it
one
the
circle.
character advancement?
No, I just
Oh.
haven't. I just thought I was just looking at my stance.
Oh,
My stance
gotcha.
sucks.
You said focus, right?
Focus, yes.
So survey.
5.
You should have had.
5.
Oh, it's not gonna work with this
That's all right.
Just like 6 too. We're gonna go with the 6.
Okay. So as you bend down to examine the base of the pedestal, Giggy's like hovering over you, and as she kind of leans in, her shadow hits the light weird on your flashlight. The two of you at the same time see this copper pointer that was covered in dust, and you both kind of lean down and undo it. There's a copper pointer that's pointing northeast, and it looks like it might have moved recently. There's a series of scuff marks that you pick up on.
All right.
I was secretly trying to steal the obsidian because I'm like, oh, it's
Okay. I look. I get my map out of the
Okay.
city, and I put it down, and I do like a line, whatever that line is, to see where it
Yeah.
leads to.
I'll
as
find the
you-
scuff marks and be like,
Yeah, you kind of overlap that and look at it. Doesn't point to any of the objects of your suspicion. Like all the other objects of the pentagram are completely opposite direction.
What is in that direction?
Northeast, the harbor's ward,
Barber's Ward.
where all the ships are.
As
is
in
the
like
eyeball looking.
where the smuggling.
Give me a survey.
Yeah, I was asking.
Oh, will you give me a survey too?
Where's the eyeball?
Yeah, you can give me a survey.
Isn't that where all the smuggling was taken out of?
Okay.
Some of the rumors we're talking about that. Yeah, 6, 5. Two of you kind of almost jam each other in the head, like looking. That's when you notice in the center of the obsidian eye, there's actually a transparent kind of piece of glass that just looks smudgy. So you reach up and you kind of clean it off.
Valuable if it ain't clean.
Yeah, and it looks like you can look through it.
Ooh, I want to look behind it.
Check
I'm
the
behind
bleed.
it. I'm gonna look
Hey,
through
just real quick, check the bleed. It's got to be like
You're
that.
such a dick. Do that. You hold up the detector and it's still a flat needle, nothing detected.
Okay. I'm gonna go look behind.
As you look
Oh, I'm
through, it appears to be focused on a particular mausoleum about 60 feet in front of it.
Oh, I thought it was from-
Is
That's all I got from it.
is it pointed in that direction as the same as the pointer?
Yep.
Okay,
We need-
let's go check it out.
You guys gonna tell us, or are we?
Nah.
Are we staying?
Yeah, we're having fun. Now we'll go back get the guys,
Okay.
and then we'll go over to the and it's pointing to.
Pull out our talkies.
Breaker 19. This is
That
there's
would be
the
the
rubber
small
duck.
invention.
So you go and gather up the rest that were keeping an eye on the carts. They're still waiting. None of the ambulance has shown up yet.
That actually makes me
What
wonder.
would it be my odds if I could like
You got
break
time.
that eyepiece off? It's just like,
What time is it?
It is a little past 11.
So we have a very short amount of time.
I have a question.
Hmm.
I can bring a small mundane invention of my own.
Okay.
Could I make walkie-talkies?
Ooh, that's a little too advanced.
Just wondering because the
Yeah.
How
radio
about two thin
technology.
cans and a
the
long
big hands and a
string?
Long
Come on, come on.
Steam powered walkie-talkie.
Pull it tight, Nero. It won't work unless you pull it tight.
A pull string.
Slipping out my fingerless hand.
Yeah. Huh?
A pull string walkie-talkie.
Hello, Nero. Sting.
Okay, so as we get closer to the mausoleum, is there a detector on the detector on them?
Nope. Still a flat needle. No response.
yeah, there's and a black obsidian eye.
I'm just going to say that though this place feels well, and we are not.
There is.
Leave.
There is the name Clara Beckett on the mausoleum.
I start my steam.
And there's
powered
a
search
faded
engine.
date that is 350 years ago.
Let's check
name
it out.
About?
I mean, you could
It's like a.
I mean, is it open?
you could give me. You can give me a. Yeah, you can give me a sense.
Is it
Oh,
is it familiar to any of
Okay,
us?
let me do it.
Because my family would have
You can
been.
give me a sense as well. That skull is useless.
It is.
I
It's a gold.
mean, it looks really cool, but
Double six ungilded.
nice, extreme success. I love it.
Six ungilded.
Okay. You mostly recognize it because the Clara Beckett name is a shipping magnet family. You recognize it because it is considered the first of families. They were the very first wealthy family established in Newfaire over 250 years ago. They're extremely wealthy and they are in shipping.
Right, but the headstone is 350.
So they were before the shipping.
So this
And the headstone's pointing to the ship to the docks.
I'll explain their part.
The eye.
Uh-huh.
Wait.
Well, they're shipping magnets.
Like magnet?
No,
No,
like
as in-
like
Owners.
elites. Yeah.
They were the
Shipping
basically
magnet.
the ones who started this.
You see the skeleton floating through the air.
Just means that people are really drawn to them.
Yeah.
Okay, put it this way. Remember the episode? Okay, in back in the One Piece episode that we watched, the girl who was really really rich, she owned the harbor.
Be the equivalent
Oh,
of,
did you watch
of
the
what?
live action?
Yes, that was
That's a little
she is
bit
a
different.
shipping magnet.
The
I got that
live
right.
One Piece. I'm
I
struggling. with.
loved it.
I'm struggling with it.
It's better than most live action, but it's not. I mean,
If people think
And
it's
that
better
was
than
the-
Cowboy Bebop, I'm going to drill my eyes.
Oh
out.
yeah, Cowboy Bebop was the.
I
That was the
haven't seen that.
best thing ever.
Oh
I
yeah.
haven't
We
seen that live
actually
You
started.
have
We actually
not
started
watched
watching
the
the cartoon
Retention
series because I hadn't watched the cartoon series. So now, actually, after
I
watching the
still
live
can't believe they
action,
canceled
it
Cowboy
made me
Bebop.
start
I thought that was
watching
the
the actual
stupidest thing in the
cartoon.
world.
It could have been a 10-season show.
I've actually-
Easy.
I want to watch that.
And they were all finally getting
I had
interesting.
just
Like they
come
finally
to
found
the-
their path.
That's where I learned to take an
And
SPS. Shower, bath, shower.
Shower, bath, shower. Yeah.
Shower, bath, shower.
So
It's like they
are we at the
I
boss
needed
meeting
one.
now?
You're currently standing in front of the Sarah Beckett,
I'm gonna go in and see if anything is disturbed.
We're gonna try and go in.
Clara Beckett. You're standing in front of the Clara Beckett mausoleum.
Make sure there's no traps.
Check for traps.
You can investigate.
Dungeons
Sorry,
and Dragons.
sorry.
or-
Investigate.
Hey, they put acid traps.
You can give me a focus.
There you go.
That's some shit. Yeah, that's a shit roll.
I mean, in this game for it's a success.
Mixed success.
Yeah, but on that kind of die, that's kind of terrible.
Okay.
I'll
What
do
did you use
it.
with
I'll
the
do it
dice?
too, and I'll use my bleed detector on
What
them.
do you use one of the here? I was gonna say one of those dice. You want to use one of the dice that we get in
Yeah,
the game?
mine's gilded.
But you do.
Oh, it's fancy.
Yeah, might as well. Just be safe.
Does that count as a gilded as well?
6 on the gilded.
Jeez, that's like 3 gilded rolls in a row for you.
Fill up fill up them things.
No sense of bleed, so your arm's containment doesn't feel necessary. You find marks that look like this place has recently been opened. Been open within the last maybe few days.
I'm gonna
I think it was open. Okay.
Yeah, so you gotta push it open. You can hear it just easily glide, and that's when you look down. You can see a smear of oil, like car oil or gear oil, like they used it to make it easier to open. You can even see footprints in the ground. They weren't trying to cover their tracks. And as you open it, the initial easement into the mausoleum is just strewn with like freshly stacked stone and bricks. And there is an exposed section of the floor of the mausoleum. As you stand there looking down, there is a dirt embankment leading down underneath the mausoleum.
So there was a underground structure.
Well,
All right, we got our stuff. Let's go down.
Christian, how big was that?
I haven't heard that in a while.
Obsidian eye? Was it like big,
We're all
big?
gonna-
Oh yeah, it's a big
gonna die.
like obsidian It's basically a marble like eye on top of a marble pedestal. It's pretty sizable.
I think we need to set some explosives like we did before to cover our track.
Nowhere
we-
to run. If
Can
something
we
happens.
not explode the mausoleum above our heads as we're underground?
No, let's just-
I don't want to be buried alive.
Here's what I'm thinking. We probably need
Optimistic,
one
you
of
might
us
just
who
be buried
hears
dead.
observant
I would
of
rather be buried dead
See,
than buried alive.
I'll go down and check and see what's down
Okay, so you kind of move everyone aside, and you come up to the embankment, and it's actually got some grooves in it, like they
there.
made,
Stairs.
like they purposely made, like
rough
chiseled
stairs.
stairs, like rough stairs to get in and out. Okay, you're following Roscoe down.
Probably
There's-
sure forward. I'm just kidding.
She's got the flashlight.
Get out.
There's like discarded buckets, wooden buckets and metal pails, and see shovels leaning up against things. As the two of you like go down about 10 or 15 feet. It goes forward into the dark. It's only about 4 feet high, maybe about 3 feet wide. So it's almost single file for you to move forward. The two of you get, and you hear,
That's not something you want to keep in that way.
Somebody sleeps sleeping.
Somebody should be sleeping down there.
No,
But they shouldn't be
somebody
snoring.
sounds like somebody's sleeping.
I sneak, I sneak over.
You sneak over, there's Giggy like assassinating them. Give me a hide as you sneak forward.
I did give her a ball. I put that down for Doug. By the way, she gave me a ball. Yeah, while you guys were talking about other things, she asked for a ball.
6. You move forward into the dark slightly. You're keeping the light kind of sheltered by
Yeah, with my hand.
your hand, and as you sneak, you look around. You see this dock worker. It's clear as day. He's a dock worker, and he's leaning up against the side of the tunnel, and he's falling asleep. There's 2 empty whiskey bottles at his feet, and there's a shotgun at his feet as well. And as he's sleeping, you look beyond, and as you look beyond where he's leaning, you can see a kind of rough-hewn wooden door has been kind of propped up into some kind of frame. And looking around, yeah, it's almost like he's guarding something. Weird.
Well, at the very least, I would take it.
We're up.
Take his gun. You can't do it.
They might set up an alarm.
Just sneak past them and just.
I'm gonna walk over and I'm gonna take his gun. Quietly.
Quietly, give me a control.
He's not holding it, right?
No, it's on the ground, lying at his feet.
Well, while they're
That's
down
what it
there,
takes to pick it up.
can I
Really?
maybe steal
Uh-huh.
Nero or
Finesse.
Scarlet so we can make sure that the ambulance hasn't gotten there and left with
I
the
have
bodies?
You like while you're up top. So they're down below searching. The rest of you are up top. You decide to come around, and as you look, they haven't arrived yet. So
I just
there's
need to keep an eye on that.
Okay.
Let me borrow
So I
your
can
shit.
timetables.
Okay, instead, I'm going to walk over and I'm going to try and chokehold him to unconsciousness.
give me a strike.
Does everybody want to go rogue?
Why?
Every time this guy's gonna fucking wake up, it'll sound the fucking alarm. There's gonna be 50 dudes with machine guns running through the fucking door.
You can always, I can always give you a vial of acid and you
Wait a
can
minute.
Beauregard.
Are you
A
gonna-
vial of
I
ass?
have a sleep
That's it.
inducing vial.
You do.
I'm gonna pull that out and have a
You're already
slash in
asleep.
his face.
All right,
But
give me a
more
strike.
Asleep, right?
It's
It's more asleep,
Yeah,
right?
give me a strike.
Because he can't wake up.
Give me a strike.
Deeper sleep.
Give me a
I don't
strike.
know.
Give me a
Probably
strike.
kill him with it.
Like, put the vials. Like, I don't think this is supposed to be ingested like this.
Okay.
Rewards.
That's a Callista move. 3 ones. 5.
And it's on my gilded, so I get my drop.
Yeah, as you get close to his face, one of his eyes kind of, and then you slam the vial like up into his face, and you kind of like hold his mouth closed and make all the fume go up into his nose. Before long, he's
I kill.
and then he just kind of like passes out at your feet, crumbling.
I stomp on his throat as hard as I can.
And the gun to-
Are you afraid of guns now?
I don't want
Yeah,
this
he's
thing.
afraid of guns.
I open it up and I take the rounds out.
No, but I'll
You
give it to
can't-
Nero.
you can't
I
kill
don't
people.
like that
You
either.
made that.
I'll take it.
He shot off his fingers.
I'll take the gun.
I'll go back up and get you guys. Tell you what's going on here. There's a shotgun.
Only the three of us can
Here's a shot. Here's a shotgun. Here's take it out of my stupid hand.
They're up, I'm gonna go down and
Okay.
Because he's afraid of guns.
Yeah.
Me too. I don't want that gun.
Me and you would like fight over the gun.
So you end up going down.
Okay.
You run into them. There's a like a big beefy dock worker like out cold on the ground. There's a chair over on the other side, like maybe that's what he's using when he was guarding. And down at the 30 feet down at the end of the tunnel is a kind of just makeshift wooden door.
How far away from the docks are we?
Pretty far, maybe an hour by car.
Drive or walking? Drive.
I'll sneak up to the door and see if I can hear anything.
It's cheaper to sleep amongst the dead.
Give me sense.
Sense is one I have to roll with a disadvantage. A woman.
One.
I fall into the door, make a sound. Everybody comes down and shoots us.
As you, like, Nero, you and Alexandria are like looking down at the unconscious body.
Good at.
You remember seeing Roscoe go up there to the door, but as the two of you were focused on the body, you look up, Roscoe's gone.
How did he? Where? I'm gonna look for trapdoors in the walls.
I'm in a pit with.
Well, I mean, there's no walls; there's just dirt. They're like
Trapdoor.
freshly dug out dirt. Kind of like you start looking. Give me a survey as you start wondering where he went. Seeks. You look up by where the door is. There's a 3 foot wide by 4 foot deep opening in front of the door, and as you get up there, he's down inside this pit. So you're gonna take a body, and he's 12 feet down,
He's excited.
and he landed on some like old debris pile rocks that were down there, and you can see that his left leg is twisted out.
And then pull.
You just have a spring? What am I gonna fucking do now? Crawl my ass through the graveyard?
Pull rope out of my survival gear.
Okay. You and Nero pull him out. It looks like his hip is dislocated.
Right. You hold his body. Got his leg.
You can use a medical kit on me? Or
I have to reset it.
We're gonna pop it back into place.
It's like it hurts too. It's like they yank and
I take
pull and
my
guide it.
belt off and bite it.
Yeah, you just hear the click of a bone going back into its hip socket, and it just. So you're also going to take a break on this one due to the stress of it being popped back in.
You're
Okay.
never gonna use your medical
You should.
kit, sorry.
You should have taken him to the doctor.
Okay.
Hey
There you
guys,
go.
there's a pit in front of me.
Yeah. I'm gonna
It
go ahead.
looks like, as you look at it, it looks like the soil in front of the door has been gradually eroding for some reason.
Water.
As you listen, now you can hear a dripping sound. Like you hear the sound of water, but you don't see it.
I'm gonna go into the med pit and find painkillers, and I'm gonna give it to him.
You're up top. They're down
no,
below.
They took him to me.
No, I thought you were down with us.
No, we all went down together.
No, I stayed up top to make sure that the ambulance.
We're in the mausoleum,
I wouldn't
but
have
you
brought-
guys
Yeah,
are
these three
together.
are up in the mausoleum. He took off down to you guys
Yeah, I'm fine.
because he wants to get away from the gun.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm gonna touch the wall, see if it went.
I drink my whiskey.
Up near where the door starts, it's damp on the edges. There's even a little seepage coming from the top of the door, like little trickles of water, barely noticeable.
Is there a lake around the?
Not that you recall, no. I don't remember seeing a pond or a body of water in the
Is
cemetery at
door
all.
Sealed tight against the. Does it look like there's any gaps around the door? Or does it look like it's well fitted?
Give me a read as you look at the doors or at the door.
Over towards the carts.
3.
A 3?
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to be sealed intentionally, but there is kind of a strange, kind of greasy edge to the door too. That now that you're close up to it, it's. And now after getting him back on his feet, the three of you, the smell hits you. It's this sweet rotting smell.
I thought this was an old cemetery.
You guys are gonna open the door.
The door was open, wasn't it?
No.
Oh,
No, that's
Still closed.
yeah. I was asking to see if it was like sealed around the edge or not. But you said you found out that the wall was seeping.
damn.
So I didn't want to open
Is
the
it-
door and just have like a gush of water on it.
Is it seeping water or is it seeping?
Well,
It's sweet and it almost smells like fuel oil.
if I press on the door, does it feel like there's a pressure behind the door, or does it kind of move a little bit?
As you press on the door, your middle finger squidgies into the wood like it's rotty. And then fuel oil begins to seep out of it.
Oh, we wanted to blow up the cemetery. This could totally blow up the cemetery.
Okay. But how do you?
Is this how they got those new cars?
That fuel, does it smell like the same fuel as the car that you?
You can give me a sense.
We called it fuel. That's all.
So the pit that they got him out of. It
You
was
can give me a
full-
sense if you want to try to figure it out.
Is he covered in the fuel oil?
Who?
Little sense.
Okay.
I want to try it.
Don't make it worse. My
No?
finger's in it.
No, because it's not down the pit.
Okay.
It's the door.
Apply.
For
Uh,
it reminds you of the fuel oil they use on ships. Yeah, they would consider it like a diesel type of smell. Yeah, but there's an underlying sweet rot smell too.
Corpses.
Does it leave detected block?
That's what,
Heat
Rod
detector,
needs
you
to-
slap in the second battery, still a flat needle.
Should we just open this door or what?
This is over the door.
Question. Then
You
I'll
know what?
never-
I'm gonna keep poking my finger through the hole. Let's see if I
The
can,
wood gets more
like
and more
if it, like-
squidgier, and then
like,
it begins to kind of like peel out, and you're watching as this kind of oozing like diesel fuel is coming out, and you watch as a finger bone comes out, and then a
Ew.
toe bone comes out.
Oh, it's a human body. This means that makes sense.
so it seems like the fuel it's in there oozing out. Like if we open the door, it's gonna just come out.
Explode. Yeah.
I'm familiar with that kind of shower.
Run, guys!
We don't have a getaway vehicle. You guys need to remember we can't.
All the alien saying, "Ah!"
How about we stand back and have
I mean, there's a 12-foot hole right there.
Alexandra throw that chair through the door and see what comes out, so we're not like right next to it when it opens.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
That's assuming it won't flood this hole.
What if we just shoot it with the shotgun? Maybe it'll blow the door apart, and we can
Stand
be right
back.
behind the door, and then right behind the corner, and run up,
Um,
shoot it, and run up, and see what happens.
All right, you guys, go stand over there. I'm gonna
Someone's
try and
gonna die. He's asleep. Gonna cause an untimely death of an innocent person.
I don't know. he's sleeping in the cemetery. I wouldn't call that
Nero would
Thank
drag
you.
him up towards-
Finally, cooler heads prevail.
Drag the body out.
We could have put him in the hole.
We're
Yeah.
not going to drown him in Ghelfi's flesh.
I think that's a great idea. Good
But
job.
if he does, can I have the Baltic to see what?
How are you opening the door? Okay. Pick the chair up and you throw it at it. Give me a strike, please.
Strike. 3 strikes, you're out.
Double fives.
Double five. So mixed success on the high side. Watch as the chair slams into it and almost gets soaked into the door. And then it comes apart. You watch as the door just slots away, and almost like a giant, like a bubo, just kind of makes a pus popping sound. And you watch as it just slowly oozes out like coagulated fuel oil, and just dozens of bones, like just kind of slough out
Like
with
it's
it.
more than one person.
It looks like a lot more than one person.
That's great.
And it just fills like 10 feet. It's like it completely starts to fill the pit, and then 10 feet into the tunnel
Now,
until it just stops kind of oozing out.
those
And
bodies that
Guys,
they were,
you wanted a way to blow up the cemetery. I think we found it.
those bodies that they were taking out weren't covered in snow.
they were not, no.
Because that's a ways away, so not there. Why would the shipping magnets of shipping fuel underneath her mausoleum?
They were trying to cover it up.
Maybe okay, that might be the source of their power. They're a shipping magnet because they have access to fuel oil. Why not put a mausoleum over it so that they could guard it and tap into it whenever they want?
More mausoleum or more shipping fuel?
No, I don't think it's
Probably
anything
the
to do
body
with
might
that.
be a but
Fire diesel.
Fire diesel.
So
Is there? So while we're up at the top of the mausoleum, toward the area where the guards are, or the grave diggers and
Yep.
the carts, are there like is it open area or are there like bushes?
No, there's trees, dilapidated kind of like brick walls and tilted like headstones, and you can see undergrowth that's been allowed to just kind of grow wild. The trees are like overdone. I mean, for the most part, the only reason you know they're there is you haven't really heard any additional noise. They're drinking heavily and just cracking jokes and having a good time waiting for the ambulances to get there. As far as you can tell, that's what it feels like they're doing.
Just curious. Sorry. You were talking first.
I was gonna say, 'cause it's like, would it be plausible to sneak over towards the bush towards that area where it's like it not exactly close by, but it's kind of like where I would assume where like they were coming to the carts are like near a sidewalk or something for the cars to come by. It's like would there be any like bushes towards that area?
Sure. Yeah, give me a hide.
I hope you're sneakier than I am, because I'm sneaky at all.
So you two are at the mausoleum. There are 3 down below, and Giggy's gonna go get a closer look at the
Giggy.
grave diggers.
I believe in you.
Her shoulder dislocates.
I'm not
Take a
strong.
bite.
No,
You
it's
don't
according to
have to
Rachel,
do
not
this.
Giggy.
Or either
Here's the question about the area. Is there any businesses like a diner or something that be like
No, this place is abandoned, dilapidated, run down,
And
edge.
there was
Why is
no
there a guard
sound
there?
in the neighborhood.
which means we're going to have a
six on my guild.
unless we steal the visa.
Six. You manage to sneak over, and as you do, because of the way the trees were, you couldn't see them. You can see 5 parked ambulances up amongst
So they're
some of the other. No, they've been here the whole time. You get the feeling you just didn't see them. So as you snuck over, they are parked behind kind of like a dense hedgerow and with some dense trees. And the only reason you notice them is because you see their headlights, kind of like their headlamps, kind of reflecting, the glass reflecting. They're not on. They're not running. They seem parked, and they're parked in a line of 5 of them.
Or is it
It's just, I would say it's kind of like a bomb that you would like, probably liquid bomb. Like big glass of nitroglycerin or something.
It's really dumb. But I try and take that bomb she gave me and I'm gonna see if I can take it towards like underneath, like where if the tire moved on it and it just
Okay.
yeah, pretty much.
So give me a hide as you sneak over to the cars.
I'm gonna give you. Oh wait,
Nope.
no,
Wait.
because you're not close enough.
Yeah. No one's there but her.
Plus I take one of those.
Somewhere down in the tunnel, Roscoe's ears are ringing.
Sorry.
That's why I love this game.
Wow.
We had a plan. We had a plan. Fucking go to shit.
Okay.
What'd you get?
4 or 5.
4 5s? It's still just a mixed success, but I'll say they're drinking heavily enough that you're not really. You're going to take a brain from the stress because you don't do a very good job of getting over there. But luckily, they're not paying attention. They're a good 40 feet away, drinking heavily. But as you step on a branch and it cracks, you like, oh, fuck. And you kind of use that hesitation as they don't seem to notice. And you get up near one of the cars.
Place it right there. And I'm like, not where you can actually like see. It's like towards that area where I'm assuming this thing hopefully looks well enough that I can like set it there and be like, on me.
All right. Give me a control as you do that.
You guys ever heard of the devil's
5-1.
That would be my luck.
It was like this natural gas.
Why do you keep using that one if it just keeps getting stuck?
Because it landed on a 6 anyways. Okay.
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 I'm gonna do 2 6s.
It's not. It was
Extreme success. You figure out that the way these ambulances are structured, the kind of very rough manufacture of the inside of the wheel, there's a spring, this really really kind of roughly created spring for the absorption, and you put it like right into the spring, so at least it would have to start driving, and then it would crunch the explosion at some point. So that kind of slam it in there, you put it in there. As you kind of like sneak back and away, you realize that there's windows along the sides of the ambulances that are kind of exposed, and you also hear.
Oh, no.
You hear a sound as a bony, pussy hand presses up against the window. And then it slides back down, leaving like a slime trail on the inside of the window. So down below, what are the three of you doing? There is a gap between the ceiling and the liquid mass that's kind of just very slowly filling up. Yeah, but also spilling out into the tunnel.
You want to go check it out?
Can I see anything? Yeah.
As you look inside, go ahead and give me a survey, please.
Phone booths don't exist anymore.
What?
Phone booths were
No.
They do have police call boxes, but they're these little cast iron boxes with a single phone that goes right to the local station. That's all it does.
4.
4? It's dark. It's really dark. You can see that it goes further in, and there's a structure in there. There's a silhouette of a structure, but it's too dark to tell.
Yeah, I can see the silhouette of a structure.
We light a torch.
My mom went on her leave.
I'm
Flashlight?
yeah.
As you pick up the big heavy flashlight, look inside. You look. There's a silhouette of a hull of a ship inside, and it's buried down inside.
A
how
There's
to
a ship under the shipping magnets.
Let's go. Let's check
Well, we
this
can't-
out.
not exactly how you
Yes.
normally retire a ship.
The climbing. I mean, I don't want to climb through that goo.
I'll go.
Just Roscoe.
Or we can come back.
You start wading through it, moving the bones and the fuel oil out of the way. It's slimy and slippery. It's got like a burnt oil smell to it.
Yeah.
You start wading through it. As you come in, you realize that what you're looking at is the top edge of you know how like a fishing vessel, right? You're looking at its top edge as you come in. All around, just numerous bones and skulls and like remnants of skeletons all over the place around you. It's when you feel something brush against your leg, slither past your leg.
Something's in here. Get in here. I clamber up on board the ship.
Yeah, you hustle forward. You pull yourself up on top of the ship. It's kind of like it's a little rickety, but you look and it's like the remnants of just an old hull of a ship, and just looking out. However, standing on the ship, you look. There's a date on the ship. You could see it kind of like in the I forget what they call it, like the no. It's like it's the plaque. It's like the service plaque.
Yeah.
And it'll have the bell like right above it. It's from 50 years ago.
Okay.
And it seems to have come from a place not from Newfaire. You don't even recognize the writing. This ship is not from Newfaire. This ship is not from here. And that's when you feel the boat come, like something just like slithered past the hull.
Oh, great.
With you two like staring in where you could see Roscoe's climbed up, you watch as like an undulating kind of movement in it. And you swear that you see scales or purple tentacles or something slimy, almost like the skin of an eel, kind of arcs up and then is now slithering deeper into the cavern.
And they sense nothing on their bleed detector.
Nothing on the bleed detector, no.
So it's an organic creature.
I'm going in.
Okay, you start wading in. You feel something like slither by. Give me a control as you just gotta jam it down.
Not a strike?
Sorry, strike. Yes, give me a
It
strike.
could be an endangered species. You
I'm
shouldn't
like-
attack it. You're so mean.
5s. 2 5s.
Nice. You hear this like guttural, like thrum, like a, and the tentacle slithers away after you jam into it. And you watch as the fuel oil and the skeletons kind of part further off in the distance. As whatever you hit just takes off.
I'm trying to get to him to make
Okay.
sure.
Yeah, you get up to the ship as well. Nero, are you going there as well?
I'll stay at the doorway and kind of try and cover them.
Okay.
Watch
You're like watching. The two of you are now on the
Shoot
boat.
Any gun.
You can see a partially open hatch, like a hold hatch.
I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, the two of you go over and lift it.
Something's up.
There is the remains of what looks like the largest. Like you've seen small versions of shark eggs, but this looks like a large version of a shark egg, like maybe 20 feet long, 8 feet wide, and it's split wide open. And there's like an ooze trail coming out of it.
Does it look recently?
You can give me a sense on that one.
Anything else on the boat that looks interesting?
Give me a focus if you look around.
4.
4? Hard to tell. Very hard to tell. It's pretty desiccated, but you don't know if that's damage from the hatching or you're not really sure.
I got a 5.
5? As you start looking around the boat, you can see a stairwell that leads up to like the pilot's portion where they would helm this kind of vessel, and it looks more and more like a fishing vessel.
Yeah.
At this point, you get up to the pilot, and you're looking down. You see the cavern extends maybe another 100 or 200 feet ahead. And you can see the rest of the ship in front of it. Now you can see these undulating masses kind of moving out amongst the fuel oil and the skeletons. But now you start to see little tunnels, and then you watch something slips up into one. You watch another one slip up into another one. They look pseudopod and eel, but you don't see eyes or mouths or anything. Almost like giant worms to a certain degree.
How do they live in the fuel?
Maybe this is a secretion.
Maybe they
By
are
eating the bodies, they're secreting this fuel.
And that's how they make more fuel. Is there, looking at the ceiling, is there any access points?
Looking up, give me a focus as you look up and around to see if there's any points in or out at this point. Yeah, you look up and around, you're like, not only do you not see anything, you begin to notice a coagulated ooze hanging from the cavern, from like the tunneled out area that they've tunneled out here. And it's like oozing, and like a little globule of it kind of like gets you in the face.
Oh, just that shadow.
And it has that sweet smell, but not like rot. It's a unusual sweet smell that you've never smelled before. But then you look up, and clinging to the underside are those creatures you remember seeing where the astral lathe was. And you see one, another. It's when you realize the total underside of this room is filled with dozens and dozens of these little brain matter creatures, but they're not moving. They're perfectly still, and their brain masses are kind of like pulsing and giving off weird little electrical kind of waves at the same time.
Dynamite is the light, but we are currently covered in fuel.
We'll get out and we'll light the place.
I don't want to strike a match covered in fuel.
One of us would be dumb enough to come up with a torch.
Do you need more light?
Leave and tell me or Scarlett to go throw a match from me.
You guys gonna come out? Or not?
I'm coming out.
Okay. I need the both of you to give me a move on your way out.
Okay, I'm going to use an extra.
Yeah, I need to strike.
A little different when I'm not telling you the risks.
6.
No,
6, nice.
I'm playing with you alone.
They can hear it in your voice. I'm in danger.
Shenanigans.
Ooh,
Double
damn.
sixes.
3 6s.
3 sixes.
3, 6, double 6s. Okay, pretty success.
I
Following
think
the
these
patterns
should
of their
be
movement,
worse.
the two of you just kind of, when they move, you stop. And then when they stop, you move. And you use that as a pattern to get off the ship and back over to the tunnel entrance where Nero's waiting. The three of you are now kind of, you're only covered in it like your boots and ankles, but you guys are covered in it up to like your chest at this point. And now you're back in the main tunnel. What do you want to do?
Thing was already black. I think you should light this on
I have a flash powder smoke bomb.
You need
So
to run
let's
though.
We're going to get out of your way and you need to
Yeah,
light this.
We'll all get
I'm
back to the.
Picking up the the guy. shouldering
Unconscious
him.
guy.
Okay.
Unconscious guy.
Okay.
Not letting him die.
So with the two of you waiting for them to come up, you're over by the ambulances. And you just watch that slime-covered hand come away.
No. Just like on
Yeah.
the floor, just waddling.
And as you do that, you come across a storm drain.
Oh.
And that's when that fuel oil smell hits you. This huge amount of oil, just like the fumes come up, and you're like over the storm drain, and then you look left and right, and you can see that this part of the drain goes all the way to the right and keeps going all the way to the left.
Oh shit.
We're gonna
And it permeates with
we're gonna
fuel
burn
oil.
down the city. We're gonna lay lines.
Well, we're gonna destroy the ley line.
And then you hear as one of the ambulances fires up, and you can hear a gruff voice like They remind you of those kind of like
Or they need to
thick
wait for the
thugs
fire.
from like the asylum.
I'm not saying I'm having the biggest grin of my life right now, but I'm like, oh, this is karma.
And now the ambulances are beginning to start up. You guys over at the mausoleum, as you see these three come up, all of you can now hear the ambulances starting up over on the far side. Gigi is not back yet.
Gigi went to investigate the down by the delivering the bosses. She has not returned yet.
Am I crawling fast enough?
We gotta get out of here.
You gotta give me a hide.
Did you light it? Did you light it?
Actually, I need you to give me a move for starters.
Okay.
Break it on the wall.
Okay.
Are you gonna let us know what you're doing so that we need to start moving?
Yeah, we'll run over there and tell him what he's doing, and that we need to.
Isn't it
Get
a
out
bad
of here.
idea? We don't have to wait it out.
You got 5?
I got my
You
leg.
start moving, you get into the undergrowth on the far hedgerow just as the final ambulance powers up. And it begins to move forward. Give me a hide as you use that distraction to kind of move quicker into the undergrowth.
I'm not gonna take a chance for this one. Where might die?
We're starting opposite.
We're all gonna die.
There's 2 6s. Yes, 2 6s, but I'm gonna go with the 1 6 anyways.
Okay. Well, 2 6s automatically mean extreme success every time.
With all
So
the sixes.
I
Where do
know,
you guys
right?
get these dice?
I got a two 6s, and I was all like, we're gonna go with the 2 6s.
So as you kind of quickly crawl underneath the next hedgerow, you can actually hear them over by the mausoleum. They're kind of like talking a little bit louder than usual. You could see Alexandra with something over her shoulder. As you start moving, you come across another storm drain, like you're coming across another one. And it kind of curves off in another opposite direction. But as you look down and you see something very large, yellow and purple, just slither right underneath.
No.
And like just go down the storm drain.
Worm.
Does it smell like the fuel?
Smells like the fuel oil.
No.
Seriously?
No.
Say something.
He doesn't know he's down below.
It's already second. That's cool.
Yeah.
Anything
I throw it
else?
to break it out the wall,
Okay.
out the door, and I'm pulling out the other way. As soon as
We don't know yet until she comes.
Go ahead and give me a control, please.
Did I please get up and run?
because I don't have the gun.
Wait, do you have
But
You don't have the fingers.
Wait,
I gotta take.
Did you
that
take
one
it?
in.
Did you take control off?
Yeah, because
It was part of his swap for the scar.
Oh,
Yeah.
you can take
I
that
swapped it
dice.
to my move,
Take the last dice.
so that means I'm not at disadvantage.
Correct. It's just one regular die.
Just one. Or
Just one.
Oh, okay. I don't have my one.
Come on, baby. Daddy needs a pair of shoes.
As you stand there
Shit.
and you light it and you throw it,
It's not a throw. It's you just throw it. It's
Right.
It's a flash bomb. You don't.
I know,
have
you
to
go-
light it.
No, you
You
don't
just have
light
to,
it.
to
You don't
throw it
light
off
just
the wall.
throwing it on the ground, right?
I'm
That's all you're
throwing it
doing.
at the- hitting the wall right by the door.
It hits the wall,
Sorry.
fizzles out.
Flash bomb. So it didn't work. Okay.
You only have one.
No, yeah, it's all I have.
Okay.
Don't worry, you have a mad scientist up top.
Okay, we're waiting.
Well, anyway,
We don't
I'm still,
know.
I'm
You
still
guys
moving
eventually
down
see
there.
Gigi come crawling out from underneath the hedgerow.
Oh, Gigi, good news.
Guys, we gotta go.
Well,
I put a bomb in the car. We gotta go.
we don't have
What?
time to get away.
We're trying to blow up. There's a lot of fuel down there. We're
There,
gonna blow it
all
up.
these vents. We can just throw crap down the vents. We gotta go. I'm gonna point out to like
The storm drains.
storm
Yeah, you
drain.
do the storm drains. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This is
I'm
flammable.
already moving my way back out.
Okay, well,
Okay, you watch as
Yeah,
Nero comes out from underneath the tunnel.
Did you want
Let's
to
go.
on fire?
You see a column of explosions coming from the front of the cemetery as the spraying from the weight of loading up the body parts just crushes. And it's parked amongst two of the other ambulances. The ambulances, it's just a chain reaction of
We gotta
explosions.
I'd like to work.
We need to go. I'm not even waiting. I'm bolting.
Okay.
And the creatures are in the ambulances.
don't know that yet.
You don't know that because Kelsey tells you.
I can tell you. I don't know. So we got to
No,
go.
we don't have a getaway vehicle. We do need a boat.
I need everyone to give me a move.
I don't.
I
have
should
anything
start
to do.
running.
So, I'm going to spend my only 2 drives to roll.
Okay.
Six.
No
Hold on.
Yeah, you can take the drive.
Yeah, I have 2 drives, and I'm using them both to move. Oh, that's a 6.
5 on my gilded.
2 ones otherwise.
Look at this. Isn't this scary? It's a 6 and a 1.
For advantage or for disadvantage?
Oh, I had 2.
Yeah,
I had
you
2
want
guys
6.
Okay,
that
good.
I spent.
2 6s and a 5. I'm not even touching it.
Man. It's been all 6s tonight,
I
baby.
know.
I don't know why, but
6 and a 4.
Okay.
Six.
6,
Mhm.
right? So
You're right.
you guys all start running. You got a 5,
2
6,
6s.
2 6s,
6.
a 6, 6,
Six.
6, 6, 6. So as you guys all start running and kind of like beelining through different debris piles, you smell something strange.
Might be me. Sorry.
You're picking up on the fact that you're running near storm drains. Like this whole place is just strangely fabricated with interlocking storm drains, and you're like dodging it, and you guys hear an explosion from behind you as the 5 of you make it forward, and you see Nero cartwheel up in the air, lands on the ground, and you hear a snapping, just kind of sickening thud as he lands on the ground. Take a body,
I'll go grab them.
grab him, pick him up,
buddy, we
and
gotta
you
get
guys
out
are
of
now
here.
running to get out of the cemetery. I need one more move.
I have
As you're running to
no
get out.
more drive.
All
I do have
right, I'm
resistance,
gonna
maybe.
use
I
my
don't know.
last
Reroll.
drive.
That's all the resistance does is for rerolls.
Oh, I'm rerolling.
Okay, this is with disadvantage. I got a 4 and a 6.
That's a 4.
I'm rerolling.
You can re-roll that if you have a
I'm
resistance.
rerolling
Yeah, but
another
I'm-
resistance.
You might.
Do you reroll just one dice or do you read the whole thing?
The
The whole thing.
The whole thing.
Didn't come in.
God.
Okay.
What'd you get?
Took me 2 resistance.
6,
6.
6.
Double 6.
Double 6 is extreme success.
It'd be a 4
You're
with the
sticking with
disadvantage.
a 4.
I have to.
6.
Okay.
I'd rather
5,
stick.
3 to 1. Don't go
So
5.
So as you two are running side by side, trying to catch up with the 4 of them, Roscoe's picked up Nero, but Nero, you've kind of recovered. You two just feel the ground lift up from underneath you, and as it does, you realize you're just crossing over a storm drain. The storm drain rips open, and you watch as a tentacle comes sliding out.
I'm
It
gonna
grabs,
I'm gonna push her out of the way.
yeah, it grabs you around the waist, pulls her back down into the drain, and lose track of her.
But the mixed success.
Yeah,
Wait. Then what did my 6 6s
it's
do?
not a
Anything?
success. It's a mixed success.
Well,
You're
always
still
remember
alive.
Oh,
You're gonna take a body.
We'll always remember
I'm
her.
gonna-
So you 4 are up ahead. You're back where you just watched her get pulled down.
Can I try to grab for her if I
Yeah, you can give me a. That's gonna be finesse. So you can give me a control. Try to grab onto her.
Am I anywhere nearby her?
No, you 4 are up front. You ran past.
Man, there's 1 and 6. It's a 1, a 2, and a 6. I'm gonna go with the 6.
Okay. As she's getting dragged down, you manage to grab onto her fingers and you yank, and you manage to pull her out as the tentacle kind of slips off.
Can I release a toxic vial from my vest?
Okay. You drop it as you get pulled out of the storm drain. The 2 of you get back on your feet and you start running. All of you get to the edge of the cemetery. Before long, you now start hearing like these subterranean chain of explosions. And then you look off in the distance in the direction of each of the points of the pentagram. As columns of flame
Oh shit.
going off.
I'm not
And as you guys are walking out of the abandoned cemetery area, you come up on a low-lying hill, looking down, and you can see this perfect pentagram formation, the primacy in the midst of the middle of it. And that's where we're going to finish tonight.
We knew that was gonna happen.
Wait. have that happy, just like insane grin on my face, like I caused all that.
You guys may have actually just.
She just called. She called it. She's going. We just lit the freaking paper.
Wait, we might have just caused
The ceremony.
the ceremony.
But here's the thing,
Yeah,
we
that's
might
what
have
I think
started
we
it too
did.
early.
Maybe.
Yeah.
In fairness, though, I'm just really happy all the people that tried to kidnap
Hey, everybody, thank you for coming out tonight and watching these knuckleheads do all the work for me. I appreciate it.
Oh,
We will be back here for the finale next Monday as they have to, and we're actually going to pick up from this exact point when we come back. So we'll do a little resource management. Then we're going to pick up from this point. Actually, let's hang around for awards for points. That's right. I forgot about that.
Okay. Do we do the circle first? Or
Yep. Do the circle first.
Did we contain or destroy source of lead?
Nope.
Possibly.
Did we provide
Oh,
comfort?
wait. One of those places might have had bleed.
Maybe, but you don't know if it is or not, so you'd have to know. Did you provide comfort or? I'm okay with that one being a yes because you went running with them over your shoulder.
She
So-
saved me.
Yeah. I said,
No, that's more viable what she did. So that's 1 point you get for that. Did you bring something of importance back for Candela? No, you did not.
We're covered in slime.
You're covered in disappointment and failure.
yeah.
Now look at your keys at the bottom of your character sheets. Did you do any of those?
I did.
I did.
I do believe I mentored her at one point when I was talking about something. I don't remember what it was.
Well, that's a lot of detail. What'd you get
That's
there,
a lot,
Earl?
Huey.
Yeah, I got Alexandra to go get ice cream.
Oh, they had to use some magic.
Was
Acting bizarre for a few things.
Yes, that's true.
when I was talking about the page of the graveyard.
Okay, that's good.
And I referred back to my knowledge of my ancient texts.
Okay.
I committed some type of crime.
Yeah, you did.
I ran
broke
into
into a
danger.
You did run into danger. So that's 4 + 1, so that's 5 points tonight. Does that get you to an advancement?
It gets us to a milestone.
Nice, which is good for your resource management.
Man, you can only want two
Two
away.
away. Okay, so resource management, we can get.
So let's not do anything except 2 things next week, and then say we're done. See you guys next week. It's only 7:25.
That was bad. Quite literally.
Oh my god, that was great. Thanks for coming out, everybody. We will be here next Monday for the finale, and then after that, we will be back with Pike's Promise and back to D&D on Mondays. We may revisit Candela Obscura during the holidays, do a couple new circles for that, or maybe bring the old circle back if they manage to survive. But hey, be safe, be kind, and play a game. Good night, everybody.
Night.